the Question Response Podcast.
And here we are again.
Yep.
Another week into the Fire and Flames. Episode 97, Nathan.
Sorry, I'm seeing the old video. Yes, it is episode 97.
And doing video.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how regular this will be, but we have the setup for it.
We do.
And you know that placeholder image you gave me?
Wait, oh, the hat?
Yeah, that was somebody already cut it out, your head, and want it as an icon.
Okay.
It's pretty great, though.
Okay.
So
I mean, I guess
looks...
at least I chose that image as opposed to it just being like, this is really funny. It's just like, oh man, that was like the worst picture. But, okay.
I don't even have a picture placeholder of myself, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for anybody watching the video, you'll see it in 2 seconds because I'll get rid of my cam. And it's literally just a picture of me at PAX like 2 years ago with Will Smith because that's the only like landscape cropped
there you go.
picture I have.
I remember
Yeah.
that. Did I take that picture?
Yes,
Okay.
you took it.
Yep.
So that is the only picture I have that's cropped that way. Otherwise, it would literally just be my eyes. But I mean, the eyes are the windows into the soul?
Yeah,
Something
I think,
like that?
is it like Pablo Neruda said that? And the only reason I know that is because The Simpsons talked about it. But he's like a poet, and we have his book at the store, and it's weird.
Is it a good book?
I don't know. I don't read poetry. Come on. Not anymore. I don't. There was a couple classes, but
Pissing all the poetry people off,
yeah, all the poetry.
one podcast at a time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, whatever. We don't need to actually talk about contemporary poetry, but it hasn't rhymed for a long time. It just kind of seems like it's people rambling. And whenever I read it, it's just like, man, who do you got to con to just get people to publish this kind of stuff? Like,
You kind of have to do like the snaps. You can't clap, right?
oh, like at Beatnik poetry readings, yeah, but
Like-
at least according to, I don't know, TV shows or something. But
Mhm.
why is the PR bot talking to me?
I don't know. It's telling you to stay a while and listen.
Okay, I will.
It's always jet lagged a little bit. So like somebody will come in and just be like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Blah 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 blah. 2 minutes later, hey, welcome.
It's like,
So, like, thanks, buddy.
Thanks. I already jumped in, but whatever.
I've already been in the fray, so thank you.
Oh man, last top down perspective, I realized I do this a lot. I hold
So like,
the earphones.
do you hold it or do you like push them in?
I just kind of touch them. I think it's just like I don't know what to do with my hands kind of thing. So I'm either doing this or I'm listening.
That's weird.
Yeah, which all of this will be bad for the audio version, so maybe we should roll right into some topics or something. Like,
Sure.
I mean, poetry already dried up. I don't know what to say about it. I took some classes. Poetry seems to be kind of a scam. So if you can pull it off, just write random thoughts and get people to pay you, wow, man,
Mhm.
give me that address or whatever.
Give me that job any day of the week.
Let me know where to go for that, because I could do that for sure. Yeah, for show,
Ramblin' Roar.
Yeah,
24/7.
exactly. Like just print out, I'll just dictation that, and it's just like, yeah, it's a poem. This is...
I actually already got a question
So-
today asking when you were gonna do another Ramblin' Roar.
Oh man, I've thought about like what the tone of those should be. Like, should it be only if I really like something? But there's a couple I could do. There was 2 things I did this week that were like, I have thoughts about this and real feelings about the other, but I'll probably just talk about them here, if that's
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know which one to start with. I guess I mentioned on the last Top Down Perspective episode that I was reading a book about Nintendo. I actually finished that book, so now I can actually give the full book report on that.
Sure.
Yeah, it's called Super Mario: How Nintendo Conquered America, and it's by Jeff Ryan. And
I think Sean's reading it now.
yeah, after I
Yeah.
was pretty excited about it, but last time I talked about it, I think the main thing I liked about that book is just like it's not even like a great thing. It's just the subject matter. Like it's just like, oh, this book's taking video games seriously. I like to take video games seriously. Great. So the quality of the book might be like totally skewed just because like I'm kind of into the whole topic, so I'm not going to be the best judge of whether or not it's actually well written or whatever. Like some people are
Right.
debating the research, like it's just like this is a little spotty. Um, I was really enjoying it kind of through the eras of gaming that I have less knowledge of. Like it's just like I wasn't alive when the NES first came out, so I don't know anything about that. So
Right.
kind of it setting the stage for that, like talking about Game and Watch and like the early arcade scene and all this stuff. Like it's like this is great because like I've heard about these, but just to see it all kind of listed and like the timeline organized and all of the stuff just kind of like elaborated on was really cool. And I was like totally just page turning. Like this is awesome. This put all this knowledge in my brain. I want all of it. Once it got like a bit past GameCube, I was like, wait a minute, I know some of this. This is editorializing like a motherfucker. Like this is just making totally baseless claims about stuff, like being like, this is really cool. This is really, you know, this is a great game. This was a great innovation. And you're just like, well, that's debatable. I mean, I don't know. That's a little spottier. Like, it's like I was there for some of these announcements. I was there for like these game launches and stuff. Like, you were kind of hyping up some things that don't deserve it, kind of glossing over some details. Like, whatever. I don't know. Once it started kind of lining up with when I started paying more and more attention to video games, I started having more problems with it. Also, I started noticing more typos, like it's like the last 100 pages, he just kind of falls apart in terms of editing. So
Okay.
I was kind of weird to see that. Um, yeah, and then like at the end of the book, there's kind of a little like author's note, and he kind of explains that he at one point had a bunch of interviews and stuff set up for Nintendo, but then when it became clear this was for a book, they kind of turned all those down and like stopped talking because I guess they don't want their story kind of elaborated on or something for some reason. Maybe because it's kind of maybe it'll like secrets or their business plan will be analyzed or whatever. They don't want to contribute to that. I don't know, but it was kind of neat to see like just the history of Nintendo, like all of it, and then you get to kind of think of it bigger picture than you usually do because you're like everyone's kind of just thinking like, oh, the Wii U is this weird thing right now. Like, are they going to pull it off? Like, there's new Mario games coming out. Like, you don't kind of think about like all the way back, and it's kind of crazy to think that like in a way Yamauchi was like ahead of the curve in terms of online stuff for quite a while, and then at some point they just fell off
Now they're just like way behind.
way behind. But it's super weird because like the original Famicom had like a modem support and stuff, and like they had all
Right.
these plans for like basically what eventually became the Wii channel setup where it's like you get your stock info and like check the weather on your Nintendo, but like in the 80s. Like it was like some of these
Hmm.
ideas were way ahead of their time. It's like, wow, that's actually pretty awesome. Like they were actually really thinking about this in a cool way, but then somehow that just didn't come together. And then like kind of seeing like rivalries start to happen, like them working with Sony for a long time, and then eventually they had a falling out, and Sony's just like, well, we already did all this work, let's just put out a console, and then that like totally dethrones them and all this. Like it's cool to see all of those parts come together in this kind of narrative. Like, I mean, it's narrativizing history, like hindsight's 2020, all that kind of stuff. But still, just kind of like seeing it all condensed down to like 300 pages of info was generally pretty great. But yeah, that last section, it got less interesting as it kept going, and it also kind of has no conclusion because it's still ongoing. So it's just like, well, I kind of brought you up to 2011 with Nintendo. They still exist, and I don't know. End of book. Like it doesn't really. Actually, no. He goes in a very specific direction, but it almost comes across as a rant. He wants Nintendo to make a theme park, and he like
Okay.
maps out where they should build it and who they should talk to, and all this is just like, okay, all right. I don't know if that's really that great idea, but like, yeah, he wants there to be a Nintendo theme park near Seattle. And in his
Near
mind,
Seattle specifically.
yeah, near Seattle, because in his mind, it's fated to be because the guy who he was like a landowner at the time. He had like he was renting out warehouse space to Nintendo in the early 80s. His name was Mario, and he is actually the inspiration for the name Mario. He's now like this landowner who owns giant tracts of land near Seattle, and there's like, wouldn't it be great? They should buy theme park from Mario and then build a Mario theme park. And it's just like, you just sound crazy right now. Like, like Jeff Ryan just goes nuts at the end of that book, and it's just like, okay. Well, most of that journey was fun. Like, I'd never heard of Devil World. Do you know about Devil World?
Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit before, but I had never heard of it before.
Okay. Yeah, that revelation that there was like a Miyamoto game that I had never heard of was kind of exciting to me. Like, I feel like I may have read something about it in like the Smash Brothers Melee trophies, because I'm pretty
Mhm.
there are some, so I might just been like, oh weird, yeah, a Nintendo game or something, and just didn't pay attention. But then like it's like, no, there was like a Pac-Man-esque game that Nintendo put out that Miyamoto directed that never came here because it had too many crosses in it. And it's just like, well, I need to play this game. Like, how do I do that? And
Right.
I don't know if I can. Like, well, I mean emulation, but I want to have it like a real copy of it for some reason or whatever. Like I don't know. So what? Oh yeah, I went on a crazy Nintendo drug trip. It was
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm getting called out for some reason, but it was exciting.
You always get called out.
I'm always getting called out. Reading about Nintendo, like, it just kind of fit thematically with some other stuff I've been doing, like watching that Smash Brothers documentary some more. We watched King of Kong again, kind of in light of all of this stuff, like the Donkey Kong story,
Right.
it being their first big success and all this, and then also like the Smash Brothers documentary. It's like these kids like playing Melee like really seriously in like the last 10 years or whatever. It's like this generation like taking games as seriously as Billy Mitchell and Steve Wiebe did with like games from the 80s. So I was just like, this fits perfectly. Like, let's just watch old guys who did the exact same thing 30 years ago. You know, like it's just like
Yeah.
they got way into those games from 30 years ago, and then kids are getting way into today's games just as hardcore. And it's kind of like this is just a part of the cycle or whatever. And I don't know, it was kind of neat to see. And then just Billy Mitchell is a source of amazing quotes, like just whatever, like USA ties and whatever, like talking about how great his hot sauce business is and whatever. Like, it's just such a great character, I guess. But he's a real man. I still want to eat at that restaurant, but yeah, you've seen
I do
it, right?
too, actually.
You
Yeah, of course.
yeah, okay.
I really, really like that movie, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just like Twin Galaxies. Like every time I watch it, it kind of gets me just thinking like, man, I should go for some high scores. Like I should, like, who's got the top score in Pooyan? And I looked that up, and the revelation was there's no arcade version of that game, so I'd have to choose a version, and there's like a dozen. So which is the definitive port of Pooyan? Like I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's just like, well, I'm the best at the Atari 5200 version. And you're just like, okay, there's like 3 people on that leaderboard in the world. Which basically at that point it's just like, you are one of 3 people who were crazy enough to send in a videotape of you playing Pooyan for 2 hours. It's like, okay, that's not necessarily a badge of pride, but I'll take it. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of mulling over that because like it happened at the time when I first saw the movie too. I was like, man, I'm good at video games. I should like videotape some video games. But now I'm just
Sure.
like, can you just live stream it or something? Like it's just like that's
Yeah.
my verification. Like I'm just gonna link.
Well, that's how the speedrunners do it, because that they have their little timer on the side or whatever, and then it's like if they want, they have their picture or their webcam up here, their time and their splits or whatever. Then right in the middle here is where like the game's happening or whatever. So there's some credibility to all that.
Mm-hmm. But
You're smiling pretty
I'm seeing
hard
the
at
trailer, so it's just like video game player of the century and whatever. But I guess I'm just thinking like, does that stuff meet Twin Galaxies standards or no? Like,
I don't think Twin Galaxies are any longer the standard in which people care about stuff like that. Like maybe for high scores, speedrunners don't care about high score. They got to go fast.
right. I don't know. I guess it's just Like I'm still playing Spelunky daily challenges, and there's leaderboards there and everything, but like actual credited scores, like they still have a partnership with the Guinness World Records people, right?
I think so. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, which not that
They're
just
probably
like
the branch of Guinness that actually cares about video games. So
yeah, like that's not a thing to shoot for exactly. Like I'm the best at like they're not going to report Pu Yan, for example. I'm just going to keep bringing that up because that's the one classic game I can think of that I was like actually pretty good at. But I don't know.
yeah,
Or just watching the documentary too. It's like, should I play Smash Brothers some more? Like, not necessarily competitively, but just mess around with it a bit because that game was fun, right? Smash Brothers.
Mhm.
You looking forward to that new Smash Brothers? It's got Mega Man.
no, mm,
Did you like Brawl? Are you a fan going back? Do you like,
not really. I played a lot of Melee and I enjoyed it. I played a little bit of Brawl and didn't.
that's
I think I was
exactly
just
what
out
happened
of
to
it.
me. It was just like, yeah, many hours with Melee, like just friends coming over all the time. Like, it's just like, this is great. And then, yeah, Brawl bought it day one because it's like, yeah, man, let's go. And then after a couple hours, it's like, I don't like this at all anymore. I don't know what happened. I'm just kind of over it or something. Like, it just like faded away. But then I guess also there's talk that it is just not as good. Like, it's just not competitive. It is kind of a kid's game. They nerfed it. That's what you call it, right?
Yeah, like the pro scene hates it.
Yeah, 'cause you can trip in it. What's that about?
Oh man,
Thanks a lot, Sakurai. Way to not recognize when you've done something great. Anyway,
what are you doing?
yeah, what are you
Yeah.
doing? I guess
Uh,
whatever. I keep bouncing back to that book I read, but I don't know. I guess there was a lot of things to chew in it, but it brings up a lot of names and then just kind of stops talking about them because it focuses on Mario and like stuff. Like it kind of builds its timeline around the most consistent character, which is
sure.
which is fine. I mean, there's always going to be a Mario game on the platform, so if you focus on that, you're going to cover a lot of the ground. But then it's
Yeah,
kind of just like, yeah, then there was this guy, he made this Zelda game, like, then he made Zelda, which was this other thing, and that was its own thing. And they just kind of don't bring it up as often. Like, I don't think they mention Ocarina being the landmark game it was, really, which seems kind of
that's kind of weird.
like, I mean, I'm sure it is mentioned, but they don't really dwell on it because that's not the focus, right? Or come like 93 or whatever, like they're not going to talk about Super Metroid or anything because they're just like, yeah, so the Mario movie came out and John Leguizamo passed up a sitcom deal to be in it, and it's just like, well, I didn't know that, but what? Like this just seems like kind of an unfortunate chapter to spend a lot of time on, but at the same time, that movie is worth discussing, so I'll take it. But I could
In the chat, we're getting asked, do you agree that the Wii kind of killed GameCube games?
um
I'm gonna say that the Wii just killed video games.
what do you mean? Well, like, I mean, it has backwards compatibility. You can play GameCube games.
Yeah,
It's kind of
that waggling though.
kind of
Fuck.
prolonged GameCube availability in a way, right? Like now, people who never had a GameCube can finally play Smash Brothers Melee, which they sure,
They don't. Yeah.
which is yeah, it's kind of weird just thinking like there's a finite number of copies of that game. There's like 7 million of them, and that's it. And they are
Sure.
slowly falling apart. And just knowing how dedicated some of those people are, they might play it forever. So what's going to happen? You got to take care of those discs, man. Like I have one of them. That's my like retirement plan L. That's the next one. It's like
Yeah.
you know,
My retirement plan.
like Korean DJ in 2028 is just like fuck. I broke my last one, and it's just like, hey man, 50 grand. You're just like
Yeah, I got
100
this.
grand, whatever. Like
I got you.
whatever. Like yeah, now I just know a bunch of like Smash like serious players game handles, so it's just kind of like great to talk about people like Mewtwo King and Aizen and Isaiah as though they're like legends like the movie does, but it's kind of awesome. Like it's just like, oh yeah, PC Chris, he was the first one to beat Ken. And you're just like, all right, like they take that stuff so seriously, and you just kind of get caught up in it because it's like I didn't know this was going on, but I love so much this was going on. This is great. This was like 2006. I was alive. Why wasn't I watching this? Like, what was, it's kind of cool, kind of cool. But
The scene here isn't that big though.
it isn't. It isn't. But I guess it's weird to see like high level play of Smash Brothers, but it still looks so damn goofy because it's Smash Brothers. So it's just like
Sure.
people jumping around, and there's like the Kirby tree in the background, and then like platforms going up and down, and you're just like, this is the weirdest fighting game. Like that the commentators are like, oh, a Lucky Cloud came in there, and it's like, okay, like it's it's just goofy. It's a goofy game, but I prefer that kind of wacky jumping around, smashing stuff to regular 2D, 3D kind of fighting game stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. But yeah, whatever. That is that. Okay, so the other thing that was like Nintendo. I've been reading a bunch of Nintendo stuff. There's a new Mario game coming out soon. That's probably partially a factor. But the other thing that kind of irked me enough to think about it a lot was I played Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Okay, so are there 9 games better than that this year?
Yes.
Or what's the joke they keep making
Well,
on
like Brad,
like you can't think of 10 what were they keep saying? Like Brad, can you think of 10 games better than Brothers or whatever? Or they keep asking people that play it
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Which I mean, maybe I should just make a list to be like, well, here you go, dudes, because come on, like, okay,
Oh man.
I don't like being like just a negative Nancy all the time. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't try to do that. Like I boot up the game, I bought the game, I was like, Starbreeze, man. I played Riddick, I played The Darkness. Like I played a bit of Syndicate. I didn't like it very much, but I tried it out. They have some street cred. I'm familiar with what they do. So
Sure.
they made a game that is getting a lot of like buzz, and people really like it. It's a couple
Sure.
hours, which is I'm totally fine with that. Like there's some narrative games that I really enjoy that are focused like that, and they just kind of focus on a few core fundamentals and just do it right, and that's awesome. Um, I just was not having a great time. Like I just was playing it, and it was just like, this is extremely scripted. Like there's not a lot to do here. There's like basically one thing you can do. And for me, like the biggest problem I had with it was the story and the mechanics just didn't fit together in my mind. Like it just like was like,
The mechanics of using 2 sticks for 2 people.
no, that I actually thought was fine. It was
Okay.
okay. Here's the thing. Here's why I find Brothers: Tale of Two Sons profoundly flawed. The story is your dad is really sick. He's dying of some mysterious disease. You got to go get the cure. And it's just like, okay, well, I better go do that. Yeah, well, sure, yes. It plays really heavy emotional notes. So,
Okay. Sorry. Continue.
sorry, I need to settle down the chat. They're getting feisty.
Negative Nathan. Negathin. That's your new name. Hashtag Negathin.
Hashtag negative Nathan. Okay, so your dad's dying. That should be pretty serious, but almost like the game just all the time wants you to slow down and smell the roses. Like it is like, hey man,
Yeah, Drew was saying that on the Bombcast where there's a bench here, so he would sit down and just drink at that part and then continue.
yeah. Which I mean, I like that kind of thing in Eco, because you're just kind of exploring, and it's just like, well, whatever. There's like no real urgency to the story. You're just kind of in a mysterious castle, and
Mhm.
you already rescued the person, so now it's just you guys trying to kind of find a way out. So if you need to sit and take a breather and think about the puzzle or whatever, that fits. Like that works, you know? But here it's like, no, like the fundamental thing motivating all of this is you need to hurry because your dad's going to die. So,
Sure.
like, I don't have time to sit here. Like, yes, I appreciate you made this really elaborate art asset. It is insane that you want me to sit here and look at it, because that basically tells me don't take this story too seriously. Like, that's what that communicates to me, because it's like, the dude is going to die. You better hurry up. But I know, because the way the game actually does all its stuff, like with its achievements, all the achievements are like basically dick around in the world. Like, go do something with this. Like, go play with this character. Go mess around with this NPC. And it's just like, I don't want to do any of that because your story is telling me to hurry. Like,
Maybe it's a commentary on youthful wonderment, where they find wonder in everything, even though there's a bad situation. I mean, you know what? It doesn't really fucking matter. I agree with you. It's stupid.
well,
It's
I mean,
stupid as hell.
the story should be urgent, but there aren't urgent mechanics in it. Like, there's the opposite of urgent mechanics in it. It is like, take your time, man, just chill out. Like, look at this. Isn't it nice and scenic? And you're just like, I don't give a fuck because your story told me not to give a fuck. What is wrong with you? Like, it was just crazy
Yeah.
to me that the game was like telling me to do one thing and then rewarding me for doing something completely different. But if I want to hurry through it, I'm missing it all essentially. So it's just like I gotta hurry. Like what are you doing? I don't know. Like and like yeah, like it's like in Call of Duty I wanted to mess around. Like I'm being asked in the chat like last week I want to mess around in video games. That's true, but it seems like there should be more of a system at play with like the time frame in this game. Like if it did it basically like Jordan Mechner's Prince of Persia, like if it was like,
Yeah.
hey, you have 2 hours or else your dad's gonna die. But you can mess around, like whatever. Like we made this world, you can just go look around, but just know you're gonna fail.
But like, what if that was an ending too? It's like your dad died, and then you come back, and it's like, oh, it's too late. That's the bad ending, but you still finished the game.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought might be going on in the background, but it's just like, oh no, this is just scripted. Like for a while there, I was like, I wonder if you played this again, but like quickly. Like I felt I was playing it too slow, but I was apparently missing a bunch of stuff. But I would sit at the bench, but only for like 30 seconds or something. It's just like, all right, it's a castle. Let's move on. Like I don't want to hang out. Like what? I don't. There's nothing going on. Like let's go. Mechanics. That's what I'm here for. I want to do things.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I was just like, just in this 2.5 hour kind of movie that really just wanted me to soak it all in for some reason, but then kind of had emotional notes hinged on taking its drama seriously. And it's just like, well, you can't have both if you're going to do it like this. And it just didn't work. Like, I just didn't like it. And okay, I don't want to, like, obviously just flat out spoil the game, but I'm going to remind everybody of the Last Guardian Penny Arcade comic where it's like, hey, this is a game about a kid and his griffin.
So the griffin's gonna die, or the kid's gonna
Yeah,
die.
there's one of two things that can happen.
Hmm.
This game has that same problem where it's like there's only like so many characters in this game. It's everyone who plays is like, man, it's like really emotional what happens at the end. Oh, okay, so one of them dies. That probably
Which brother dies?
what?
Which brother dies?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you because that might not even happen. What are you talking about, Paul?
I was gonna say you just did
Yeah,
by saying I'm not gonna tell you which one.
which character? Though it could have been the weird old man at the beginning of the game. Maybe everyone got really invested in him, or maybe it's one of the giants.
There's a giant.
Yeah, there's a couple giants that you help out, and
Are they kind of cool?
well, actually, okay, there's a couple like kind of big troll type people, and then there's giants that are like big people, but they're all that's all. I won't get into it exactly, but they are like to scale, like Lilliput style, like Gulliver's Travels type shit. You are really tiny, and they are huge. So there are giants, and yeah, it almost feels kind of Jack and the Beanstalk kind of fairy tale type stuff to some of it, and that's totally fine. Like I don't have any issue with most of the aesthetic of the game or like the setting or anything. It's more just like this is such a mechanically limited and shallow experience in a lot of ways, and then for me that kind of saps away the storytelling thing they were trying to go for because it's just like, well, I don't have any say in this, so this isn't that investing. Like it's like I'm watching a weird animated movie that I have to do stuff with, and I kind of know where this is going, and yeah, it went there. And it has like really sad music that they just try to hit you with, and it's just like, it's not gonna work. You already broke it. Like you already fucked up. Like sorry, you didn't do this right. For me, like I don't. There's people loving this game. I don't see it. I did not. Yeah, that's it. Like I just don't know what to say other than I did not see the magic in this game that people.
It was funny because in the chat someone was like, Nathan, do a ramblin' roar on it, question mark, and the next person's like, he already is.
Yeah, that's just kind of what I do on podcasts now. Is just it's a rambling roar session. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I could try to come up with some other like more succinct summary of it. Like I'm still like it didn't. No, I was gonna say I'm still processing it. There's not a lot to process. Not a lot happened. Like there's
It's
just
pretty shallow then.
yeah. It was kind of
It's pretty like you should feel bad because of this bad situation, and you will.
yeah. Oh man. So like again, 2 weeks in a row, Stanley Parable has just like spelled out to me story problems in games in ways that are just like, okay, well this game does this one, and this game does this one, and Brothers literally does the same thing. It is Adventure Line the same way Call of Duty Ghost was, except it doesn't have a bunch of shooting in it, so everyone can feel comfortable being like, "Oh, isn't this an interesting, inspired thing?" And you're just like, "Whatever." Like you,
Like it's more secure in itself, knowing that it's a dumb military shooter. So it's like whatever.
well, no, I'm not saying like this game's insecure in being like a fantasy thing. It's just it's no less mechanically interesting. Like it is as limited and constrained.
No, I mean for other people. Like when they see
Oh
this,
yeah,
they think they should be seeing a work of art or something. Whereas when Call of Duty comes out, they just see another shooter. So then they're like, okay, I know what to expect, and it does it. So 10 out of 10.
right. Like it's easy to kind of praise this because like, well, it has a lower body count. It doesn't get into any dicey, like moral quandaries exactly, or like gender politics or anything. It kind of just, although there aren't any like real female characters in this game for the most part, and the one that I'm thinking of is actually pretty negatively portrayed, but that's kind of a spoiler.
Okay.
So sorry, but well, I don't know. I don't have enough reverence for this game to kind of watch myself, so apologies if someone was seriously waiting to play it, but I don't think you need to. Like that's my editorial kind of thing. Is just like
That's kind of the summary of it all.
yeah, I'm saving you 3 hours. Like you're welcome.
But like 3 hours, right?
Yeah, it's like at best 3 hours, and
That's not bad.
that's not bad. Like it's not a lot of time to kind of see what this is and whether or not it resonates with you. It just did not with me at all. Like it's just for me, like yeah, something about that game mechanics should be a renewable thing. Like you should want to do this more than once. I kind of didn't want to do some of these things one time. Like it's 3 hours. I was kind of getting bored with it at the end, and that shouldn't happen. Like it's like if you have this narrow of a like time frame, you should be able to fill that with stuff that is fun. And it's just kind of I don't know. It's not
Do you feel that way about Silent Hill? Because we spent like 3 hours playing that.
something about well I don't know. I don't know if it's just because like friend in the room or whatever, or but no, something about that is still more. It lets you mess around a little more. Like it's like there's an objective, go figure it out, so you can kind of do stuff. Like you can at least exert some sort of free roaming on it, even though there's only one right answer. This
So you're saying a like 24-year-old game is doing better stuff.
is it that
Or 14. No, 14.
what the
Sorry.
hell? Like late 80s or something? Yeah, no.
No,
Okay.
14-year-old game
14-year-old
is doing better stuff than
PS1.
this one.
Like, well, just mechanically, because it gives you more freedom. Like, for me, game mechanics should grant you some level of freedom. I'm not saying, like, I want to be empowered in every video game. That's not what I mean. But I want to have direct impact on things that happen, because that's the contract I am, like, filling out, essentially. That's what I expect video games to do, because that is different than the contract I have with movies or books. I expect a book to have like an author's vision of what happens written out, and they express it in a way, and then I can decide whether or not I thought that was cool or not, and that's mine. But in a video game, it's like, well, I'm part of this. Like I am a performer, I'm a player. Like I have impact on this. If I don't have impact on this, why is this a video game? Like is kind of where I keep coming back to, like as just a thing, and it's like that might kind of seem to contradict with like how I felt about Gone Home or something, but you find that story yourself because you want to. Like you're digging around in the house and you kind of find it. This is like, there is one puzzle in this room. Please solve it, please. Okay. All right, you did it. Now here's another one. Please solve it. All right. Now here's another one. Okay. Now here's a sad cutscene. How do you feel? And it's like, I'm kind of pissed right now. Like that's kind of just my
Yeah, I'm not sad. I'm kind of just angry.
yeah. Like I guess just to transition, like I was kind of having same ups and downs with some of the stuff I was seeing in Deus Ex Human Revolution, which I started playing and I've put a couple hours into. Like, whenever the game just kind of wrestles away control and just makes me watch a cutscene, I just start getting more and more pissed with the character talking to me. And it's not like that's not the narrative the game is trying to say, but I'm just like, well, now me as Adam Jensen is going to shoot this guy because Jesus, he talked a long time.
And you never asked for it.
I never asked for him to talk that long. So I'm just not going to have it. I'm just going to blah, and it worked. So I was kind of like, wow, this game will let me break it. That's kind of crazy. So I loaded the save. But except for one guy, like there's this kind of over aggressive boss dude that runs the company you work for. And it's like, as soon as I interacted with that guy once after a mission, I was just like, I want to kill this motherfucker. Like, this guy sucks. What an asshole.
Just straight up dead.
Yeah, like, yeah, he's got a robot arm, but I have all these guns. Like, I'm going to unholster my gun and just fuck it. This guy is so dead right now. You can't,
Blap, blap.
you can't, like, unholster your weapon. I assume it's like a late game reveal where that guy's evil or something. So,
Oh, it's like the anime thing. It's just like, I know who the evil guy is right now.
yeah,
Like, why can't
the
you just
slanty
kill
eyes
him?
and, you know, the diabolical laugh. Like, that's the evil
Like,
guy.
he's the one right beside you that you could easily kill right now because he is unarmed. Why are you not doing this? Why are you going to wait until he is super mutant guy?
Yeah, like, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
he kept augmenting and now he's really powerful. Final boss battle or something. You're just like, why didn't I just get to kill him at the beginning of the game when I knew he was evil and I just didn't want to deal with him anymore? He talked short to me, man. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm Adam Jensen. Like, you know, I got all these guns.
I never asked for it.
I leveled up my arms. I got, like, super arms now. Why don't I just, you know, like, just end it? But it won't let you do that. So,
That's a failure on the game's part.
I don't know. Like, I like things about it. Like, it, you know, it's science fiction, which is, like, just kind of the shortcut to my heart. Like, that's just stuff I love. Like, it's just like, dude's got crazy cyber shades, and there's just, like, gold everywhere, and just you're hacking computers and just robots and whatever. And you're just like, this is great. But something about the way, like, I don't even mind how the actual shooting mechanics play out. Like, I kind of like the feel. It's okay. Like, I'm kind of. My first mistake was, like, the first time I ever played it, I opted for stealth, and then quickly realized, I just want to shoot people. Like, I just want to use my.
Doing a nice mixture of both is kind of fun.
Yeah,
actually.
so that's what I'll do. I'll, like, enter a room, kind of stealth kill whatever dudes I can, but then when I get spotted, it's time to rock, and I'll blast all of them, and it's awesome.
And you can do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I like it, but there's still a few weird, like, just kind of presentation things I find a little baffling. Like, I mean, it's first person primarily, but they love third person too. So, like, whenever you go up against cover, it goes third person. That makes sense. I've seen that before in, like, Rainbow Six Vegas and stuff. But when you do a kill animation, like when you do a stealth kill, it'll, like, hard cut to third person, like, cutscene almost of him, like, punching him or snapping his arm or something, and then kind of awkwardly transition back. And it's just like, this is really weird. Like, this just seems like a bad way of, like, presenting this to me. It's kind of awkward. So it kind of takes a little bit of the, like, and also those kills aren't very stealthy. Like, I sneak up on him, and then he does, like, a super wrestling punch, and you're just like, dude, like, there's other people here. Like, I just kind of wanted you to grab him or something. Like, what?
Like, I just wanted you to grab him and then drag him back a little bit and then maybe, like, slit his neck and then leave him.
Or, like, Batman style, just kind of muffle him, you know? And, like,
Sure.
Coming right off of Arkham City, which also had a bunch of stealth mechanics, like, it just, like, seems clunky in ways that game didn't. Like, that game's really smooth about that stuff and, like, animations. And this game has, like, really weird, stilted animations sometimes. Or, not so much the animations themselves, but the transitions between them are a little weird. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm a couple hours in. This is, like, probably the most I've played any of the Deus Ex games. Like, I keep trying to play them. Like, I played a little bit of Invisible War on Xbox, and I know everyone hates that game, so I'm not gonna. Like, everyone just was like, they fucked it up, I hate this. And you're just like, okay, it seemed okay, but I guess I'm not qualified. I don't know. So eventually I bought the original on Steam, and I don't know if it just has, like, late 90s old game syndrome of, like, old 3D looks really bad and it's hard to get over that. But I found myself just stalling out in, like, the first mission, like, every time. I've tried it a couple times. Like, it's just like, I know this apparently grants me like unprecedented levels of freedom and Warren Spector's a genius and whatever. This is bad. Like I just never got sucked in. So maybe I missed the window on that. Maybe there's no going back to like discover it anew or whatever. But yeah, that game just wasn't popping last time I tried it. So like, do you have history with Deus Ex or not really?
I tried playing the first one. That game's really dated,
Yeah, like
like really
I'm
dated.
saying.
And since I don't have nostalgia for it, uh, I can't get over it, kind of. And I don't want to because uh, Human Revolution, I think, does the same thing, but like updated.
Like
So that's good.
I'm assuming it's maybe a little more constrained in some ways. Like a lot of the choice seems to be like, do you want to go through this air duct or through this door or shoot this robot? Like it's pretty much, well, I'm going to the same place anyway, so I don't know. I have a lot of bullets right now, so I guess I'll just shoot this robot. Like like the choices are pretty like all in service of kind of the same end goals. But I'm actually at a point where the game seems to be opening up a little bit, and it's just kind of like, do you want to do a mission for this faction, or do you want to go over here and get some weapons, or like it seems to be kind of letting you choose the order you approach things, and I don't know if there's like loyalty to different factions or how they handle some of this stuff, but it seems like it's kind of starting to branch out. And I guess just looking at the video here, we're kind of seeing some menu stuff and whatever. I do like the presentation generally. Like it's got a pretty slick look. You know?
It's really nice looking. Yeah.
Just the menu design and like the opening credits were pretty stylish, and it was just kind of like there's a lot going for this game, so I
Yeah.
think I'll keep giving it a try. Like I don't know, like there's a lot of kind of Mass Effect style conversation wheel type encounters, but some of the dialogue I'm just kind of like I don't care about this. Like I kind of just don't want to talk to this person, but I think I need to in order to get a quest or something. So I guess I'll just keep talking. Like it's kind of bringing back flashbacks of the time I was playing Longest Journey and like clicking on all of the text options because I felt kind of obligated to just kind of like see more of this world that people were so excited about, and then literally almost falling asleep because there's like 10-minute monologues from these characters. And it's just
That's what I kind of felt about some of the older Elder Scrolls games.
like just
Like some of the dialogue I just didn't care about. It seemed more important in Skyrim because I felt more in the world, I think. Like Morrowind specifically, I remember a lot of dialogue options and stuff. I'm like, I couldn't care less about any of this. Just let me go, like, fight the Brotherhood or
well,
something.
like especially when you like boil things down mechanically, it's like, I'll just go fight the skeleton. You just want me to fight a skeleton. I don't really care. Like, well,
I don't care about the story. I'm gonna go kill the rats in your cellar. Just let me go.
yeah, like, all right, somebody decided to write a long thing about why there are rats in the cellar and what this is going to do to their meat business or something.
I hate that. Where it's just like, hark, traveler. It's like, shut the fuck up. Tell me what you want me to do, and then you're gonna give me like a few pence for my trouble, and then I will be on my way
Right.
to something more important.
Like, unless you're going to do something completely crazy and totally different as a quest, like, if it's literally just boiling down to collect 10 of the thing, just let me go collect 10 of the thing. Like, don't drag it out. I haven't seen anything along those lines in Deus Ex, so I hope
Right.
you hope you're not killing cyber rats and collecting their tails or something at some point. Like, I hope it's all,
It'd be kind of amazing.
I guess, but only as like a weird RPG joke, not so much as like this is fun. So yeah, that's a game. Like, I mean, it looks nice and everything, but I'll see. I might stall out on it. I'm starting to get a little apprehensive about things. Like it needs a hook soon to pull me all the way through. If that doesn't happen, I might drop it and move on to something else. Because
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I should be playing some of this other stuff, but I haven't really focused on
What do you have in your hand
like
right
Assassin's
now?
Creed, and like I kind of just want to run through Battlefield so I can get rid of these too, you know. But that hasn't gone down yet. And it's kind of out of obligation at some point for some of this stuff. Like it's just like I don't actually care that much, so
Sure.
why am I doing that? So yeah, I don't know. Like being part of the conversation is kind of a thing, but no one seems to be really talking about Battlefield. Like, right? I haven't really heard
I think because the people that would talk about it are out there playing it.
that,
Like,
or like maybe there truly is like just people are really caught up in this next gen stuff. Like they just kind of don't care. about the previous stuff.
I find it weird. Like, it was intolerable for me to be on Twitter all of Friday because every tweet was, "Oh my God, PS4," and then like a picture of their PS4 coming in the mail. But like, the issue I had wasn't that they're excited so much as every single tweet was the exact same fucking tweet. So it's
Right.
like, why am I even bothering right now?
Like this is all the same information kind of thing, like just very one note stuff.
It's different people, but like the same picture from different like sides.
Like there's
basically.
this box from this angle or something. Like no one's kind of doing something new with it.
and
Like where's the Imgur gallery where like, you know, photo of the box, opens it, and there's just like spaghetti in there. And you're just like, what the fuck? Is this because he's already unpacked it and then he decided to play a joke on you? And
right.
you know, something like that. Or like that great one where it's like, oh, I found all this weird stuff, and it's like a picture of a cave, and then it's all this big pile of games on a table, and you're just like, these are clearly not from the same thing.
And you know what also is the worst?
Yeah.
Is like, this is gonna sound so misogynistic, but I don't mean it to sound that way.
Mm-hmm.
But the like gamer girls or whatever that are really into like the big games that are out, they're just the worst because they're always like, "Oh my God, Assassin's Creed is so sad. Can't wait for the next one." It's like, you're the reason why there's 100 Assassin's Creeds. It's the same fucking story every time.
Yeah.
And people like keep tweeting this shit all the fucking time with the hashtags and like doing the Mountain Dew ads on Facebook or whatever else the fuck you do. You're the reason we have shitty games. Like, you are a terrible person.
Okay, I don't
So-
want to like call out specific people or anything, but like I do have a point of reference for exactly what you're talking about. Like there is a former assistant manager of the EB I used to work at who is just, I don't know why they are so over the moon about Assassin's Creed, but it's like all they care about. Like it's just like, you know, this person clicked like on the official Assassin's Creed thing
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Facebook, and you're just like, why would you click that? It's just gonna mark it at you. Like why would you
And then
do
they're
that?
like retweeting the Ubisoft account or whatever. The ones that are like, if you retweet this, 1 out of every billion
Yeah.
people will get a copy or something.
Or like get this exclusive Edwin statue or something. Like, you know, something weird and like, okay, like I guess you're a collector, like cosplaying and whatever. Like it's just like I don't get like the passion for that. I mean, whatever. Like total
For like trivial shit.
sort of like I
Yeah.
don't know. Like it's just it doesn't have enough like distinctive things in it that make me kind of go like, yeah, Assassin's Creed. Like it's just like, well, you stab guys. Like I don't know. Like the sword fighting's kind of okay, but I prefer the Arkham combat. But they're kind of similar, so it's not even a big thing. It's just like I don't know, swords and whatever. Like I don't know. Like even games I get really excited about. Like I don't dress up like Trevor or something. It's like I love Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm gonna go cosplay. I'm gonna go dress up and like I can't wait for the DLC or whatever. I'm playing it online every day. Like it's just it was a thing. I really liked it, and then now it's over, and it's okay. Like I had a great time, but
Yeah.
I don't get like the prolonged excitement after you've played it. Presumably, like it's just like this isn't just when a new Assassin's Creed is imminent. This is like all the time, like all year.
No, that's what I mean. I'm not talking about, like, I actually am legitimately a little bit interested in what 4 might offer,
Yeah,
being a pirate.
Yeah, pirates. Like, why not? That's a hook. That's a different thing. That's something.
I'm talking about, like, what I'm trying to remember the period. It was after 3. Was it after 3 or before 3? When was like Revelations or whatever?
Yeah.
That like
Like-
period where there was like 4 games coming out in the same year for
Like,
different
after
platforms.
Brotherhood before 3, like that kind of Revelations year when everyone kind of groaned when Revelations came out. Yet, like,
But there was
somehow-
still those like 5 people that I had on my list anyways that were retweeting everything about it.
yeah, and like
And it's like,
past
what are
that
you doing?
point, like at every convention or anything, they're just like, you know, oh, new trailer came out. Like, oh, I'm, you know, went to the Assassin's Creed thing, and you're just like, okay, like, all right. And that I don't know if that's just not transitioning to like Watch Dogs. Like, no one, they don't seem like that crowd loves Assassin's Creed specifically. That is the thing, and I don't know why. So,
Actually, I also follow people that are obsessed with Dead Space, which is another weird one. Like maybe the first one, I don't.
I don't.
Yeah, no, I was on Twitter when
What?
the first one came out,
Okay.
but like And at that time, it was like, okay, this is kind of like a weird, neat little horror game for the new system. I could see
Yeah,
that.
the first time I saw
But
Dead Space at like PAX '08, I was like, this looks kind of cool. Like, I like Outer
but there's
Space.
still people that are like, oh my god, Isaac, heart, 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 and then like a whole bunch of screenshots of Dead Space 3, and then retweet Mountain Dew or something. Like, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
There are people like that on my Twitter, and there's also people that are obsessed with Gears of War still.
Huh. I mean, I've
Yeah.
kind of fallen off on a lot of the big franchises. Like, I haven't played a Gears of War game since the second one. Like, I played through that, didn't like the campaign very much, and then just kind of dropped it. Like, I played some Horde.
Three wasn't actually that bad.
I heard
if I'm
fine.
gonna be
Like, I have
really
no
honest.
like deep thing. Like, honestly, like every time I go to an EB, I check it. I'm just like, is this like $10 yet? Because like that's how much I care. Like, how much is this? It's like $20. I don't care enough. I'm just gonna go home. Like, it's whatever. Like, Sean owns it. I'll borrow it in like a year. Whatever. Like, I don't care that much, but I can see myself playing it. Judgment too. I'm kind of maybe a little more curious about Judgment because it was written by an author I know. So it's just kind of like, how did that translate? Like, how did this guy who has so many like thoughts about game narratives, like, how did he write a game? Does it do well? Like, what did he do? Like, I don't know. But yeah, it's Tom Bissell. He did Extra Lives, which I found kind of interesting, but kind of weird in a way.
Yeah.
I won't get into another book report that's very specific.
We already did that because I read that one too.
Yeah. We did talk about that. So, like, I'm just kind of like, how did he translate like his kind of analysis of this stuff to actually doing it himself? Like, that might be an interesting way to kind of see how much creative control does the writer actually have or whatever. But I still haven't done that either. So yeah, Gears dropped off. Call of Duty, like, I finally played one again, and it's kind of the same as I remember it. So I'll be okay for a while.
There is a weird security in that, though, knowing that there's like always going to be that game that like is new is always going to be that game in case you wanted like the updated version of it. Like, I've been playing the Call of Duty games pretty regularly until Black Ops 2 made me do that thing I didn't want to do, and then I realized that this is just completely broken in a way I didn't enjoy anymore.
Okay.
But there was always something kind of nice about, like, I want to play a shooter. This is probably the best made one. Like, it's going to be stupid, loud, and, like, dumb, but it's going to play nicely. So,
yeah,
I don't know what else you could ask for in a shooter, I guess. It's the primary reason I don't play shooters much anymore either, though, is that they're just too similar in ways I don't enjoy very much.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like, I mean, I am not inherently opposed to games with or games with guns. Like, I don't mind shooting a gun. Like, there's definitely a kind of a thing in games where it's just like, man, do we really need to make another shooter? Like, all of these are looking the same. Like, how easy is it to make a game where you just shoot people? I have no inherent problem with shooting people in video games. Like, just give me good reasons and kind of like a good framework for it, and I am totally down. Like Grand Theft Auto 5, like, there's moments where you're not shooting people, but there's moments where you're shooting people and you want to shoot people, and it's like, great, this is kind of cool. Like, I'm a criminal. This fits, but it definitely can get a little monotonous. Well, I think it's just like the role of being in the military is so dictated for you. Like, it's just like you have a commanding officer and they are telling you to do the thing. And you're just like, I don't want to do that. Like, I just don't want to. And I have no
Right, but
way.
in that context, it still works. Like, for a military shooter.
It makes sense logically. I just find it kind of like a sad position to be in. Like,
Sure.
I don't want to play that character because that character's in a weird situation where they have like no choices at all.
Should I go ahead and spoil what bothered me?
Yeah,
Black
like,
Ops 2?
it's
been out for a while,
at least
and
a year, and I am beyond. Like, I am at that point where like I should have played Black Ops 1, and I would play that before I play 2. So I'm probably not gonna play 2 for years, if ever. So go ahead, I'm fine.
Yeah. So there's a mission where like you're with another dude, like your buddy or whatever, and you're breaking in or out, I can't remember, of this place. And he goes missing at one point. Like, you get separated because you're in a firefight or whatever, and you're running away, and blah, 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 and you get separated, and then, like, his radio goes out.
Okay.
And then you get a call from your, like, commanding officer or whatever, and he's like, meet me up here, whatever. We made it here. You're like, okay. So you go there, and then they're like, we caught one of them or whatever. And then I'm like, well, that's my dude. Like, that's my guy. He has a bag over his head right now, and they're like, you have to shoot him. And I'm like, I'm not going to shoot him because I know that's my buddy, that we just, like, we're in the shit together. But, like, the game doesn't let you go on. And then I was like, fine, whatever. So I took the shot after, like, trying to get around it. Like, I shot the other guys
Yeah.
that were holding him or whatever.
Okay.
So I try to get around, and it's like, you failed or whatever. I'm like, fine, I'll take the shot. And then, oh, big reveal, the thing I knew. And then I was like, I turned the game off, and I returned it instantly.
Wow. Yeah. That's good.
So,
Good for
it's
you
like-
for doing that. Like, I would probably just hang my head and go, oh, and then just finish it. But that the game did essentially flip you off, and that's stupid. So, like, that actually no, that is like literally insulting your intelligence, because it's like our fans aren't going to figure this out, and it's like, but if you do, what can they do to do it? There isn't anything. This is our
Well,
story
it's
beat. We need.
It's
to hit
insulting
this
your
story.
intelligence because it's like, I know this guy is probably the bad guy, even though he's my, like, commanding officer, or he's a traitor. And, oh, all of a sudden they captured one of the, like, assailants or whatever,
Yeah.
and my guy went missing just 10 minutes ago. I wonder how this is going to play out.
Yeah, that seems bad foreshadowing or whatever. Like, that's annoying. But yeah, like, I mean, I guess I can talk vaguely around it a bit. I mean, this game did just come out, but in Ghosts, there's a moment where you are presented with a choice where it seems like what you are about to do might well kill some of your characters. Like, it's just like, fire the weapon, and you're just like, no, I don't want to do that at all. That's a terrible idea.
Sure.
I'm going to sit here and not do that. Mission failed, you failed to follow orders. And I was just like, okay. Like, I mean, it is that thing video games have done for quite a while, though, where there's, like, a character death that needs to happen, so they just kind of force your hand. Like, Final Fantasy VII, for me, is, like, that example of doing that wrong. Where,
Why? Who dies in that?
well, Eris dies.
Fucking spoilers. Jesus Christ.
Whatever. I mean, you know what I mean, though? Like, it, like, makes you press circle or whatever. Like, it makes that happen. That needs to happen. You're just like, well, in the mechanics of this world, I could just use a Phoenix Down. Like, I could just cast a heal spell. Like, there's so many reasons.
No, but it had
Stupid.
to happen because striking her down made her more powerful than you could ever imagine. Because she technically wins the game at the end.
Yeah, but I mean, just in the kind of way of just people, like, I mean, it doesn't, it's dramatic, but it doesn't have, it's not grounded in the way the game works most of the time. It's like, you know, cutscene reality versus gameplay reality. Like, I hate it when there's a gulf. Like, that seems to me the first thing you should address when you're designing a game is make sure that doesn't happen. Like, for me, that is a profound narrative flaw, essentially. That is akin to, like, giant plot holes in your screenplay, or just, like, terrible editing mistakes or whatever. Like, that is a mistake. You shouldn't have that happen. But it happens over and over again. And again, I'll say, like, it happens in Brothers, and I hated it that they did that. They just,
What about Spec Ops: The Line?
they wrestle control from you. They at least have the decency to try trick you into doing it. You know?
Even though, like, you're kind of not tricked, right?
Well, I was genuinely tricked. Like, I was just going off on the mortar, and
The gas?
went wrong.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, oh, they got me. Like, they actually made me do the thing. But then when I thought back on it, I was like, I bet you there's no way you wouldn't do that. You know, like, because I was, like, I think it was while I was walking through it, like, you see all these, like, burnt people. I was like, they would not design this so elaborately if this was a choice. Like, if you could actually not see this, they wouldn't have put this much attention to detail in it. There's no other option, is there? Like, that's what kind of
I don't think there is, because that part, I didn't even know you're supposed to use the mortars, even though they keep telling you to.
Mhm.
Because I was just kind of in the heat of the moment, so I kept trying to shoot my way through everybody, and those guys respawn infinitely until you use the mortars.
Yeah.
So I actually broke it accidentally and found out that, oh, this needs to happen, so this is going to turn out bad.
Right. Like, it's still kind of a weird, like, I still find that kind of a weird selfish thing on the part of the designers, because it's like, no, we have the best idea, and we know it's awesome, and we're gonna make it happen. And you're just like, okay, like I mean, okay, but that's not that interesting to me. Like if you gave me like actual true volition, and oh my god, I hate it so much when people say the genius part of that game is the developers want you to turn it off. That's the choice. They want you to do what you did with Black Ops 2 when you're like, "No, you fucked up. Out. Over." It's like, "No, man, Spec Ops like they want you to like quit the military, man. They
No,
want
see
you to
the
get
thing,
power. Like that's
but you
your
see,
choice. That's
you
what
know
you
what
get."
you know what the secret here is that if I'm doing that, you made a shitty
Yeah, you
game.
made a shitty game. If your game is telling me to not play it, like literally, not in like some weird meta jokey way, like in Metal Gear Solid 2, where it's trying to creep you
Yeah,
out, like
it's like you've been playing forever. You need to turn the system off or something.
it's not it's Roy Campbell talking to you. It's not some
Oh yeah, that's right. It was. It wasn't mailing. Was
yeah, like what are you doing? Yeah, that game literally tells you to stop playing, but it's kind of in this like, no, I'm trying to do a thing, and like the game is corrupt.
no,
Like
no. We both know at that point when that game first came out. When you get to that point, you're just like, oh shit, it is like 4 in the morning. I have been playing this for like 10 hours. Maybe he's right.
no, yeah, that was like me playing it late and just being like, I don't. This is weird. This is so
I
weird.
think that was I think that was everybody's experience with that game
Just
because when it came out,
yeah,
you would get it like after school or whatever, and when you get to that point, it is like midnight or 1 in the morning, and you've been playing all day.
yeah, but and like that's probably somewhat a credit to that game because it like pulls you in. But like again, like I can't, you know, I feel like such a hypocrite all the time when I kind of bring up games I like. Like, I still really like Metal Gear, but it does so many of these sins, right? Like, it's so cutscene heavy. Like, that is the opposite of what I like, but it's basically like maybe I'm like so few people get it right, so maybe just don't default to that position because you're probably not as good as Kojima. Like, he's the
Well, maybe
guy.
it's because they made an actual compelling thing where you kind of want to see what's happening, and the gameplay almost comes secondary, even though the gameplay is very well done.
Well, it's kind of open
It's
in
not,
a way that I like. Well, especially in like
yeah.
3, I felt there was like actual choices, and there are. There's like branching ways you can accomplish some stuff.
Gush the end before he ever gets his gun,
That's
basically.
like the best one. But there's also just kind of like weird Easter eggs to find, and like different like the frogs, and like there's all sorts of weird stuff you can do in that game world that I enjoyed doing. And then periodically they kind of pepper in a bunch of narrative, and like that's maybe a little clumsy. Like it's just like, and now just watch a half-hour anime, like whatever. But I've still got caught up in it. Like I don't know. It just kind of maybe it's just hit me at the right time. Like maybe that series doesn't have much of a future or something if it keeps going down that way. I don't know. But 4 sold okay as far as I know, and it does that probably worse than any of the other ones. So,
It is definitely the worst for it. I think the whole ending is like 40 minutes.
and I guess I will.
Oh, let's see.
I think it's even longer. I think it literally is an hour and change or more. But okay, 4 was also like I will say the last one. Like I played that and I was like this is not good. I don't like this. Like I didn't like it. I just didn't enjoy it the same way. And like 3 I replayed over and over. 4 that didn't happen. I played it one time, kind of left a little disgruntled, and then eventually went back and played 2 and 3 in HD and played some of the PSP one, the port. What's that one?
Uh, fuck.
Metal Gear something. Yeah. Peace Walker.
Peace Walker. Yeah, yeah.
Which I kind of thought was cool, but I didn't find cool. Actually, no. I was finding cool, and then my 360 red ringed, and then I haven't since. So that's why I stopped playing it. I was going to say I lost interest in it. That's not exactly what happened.
That's technically actually how you lost interest in the Xbox, because you're like full on Sony person now.
It was a pretty hard transition. Like, other than Child of Eden, which that's the only platform I own that game on right now, like, it definitely was like, well, I'm going to see what's going on over here. I haven't turned this thing on since the last Uncharted came out. Like,
And then they're like, oh, wait, they actually just blew my mind.
I was just like, wait, are you telling me if I get this, like, if I pay what I'm currently paying for Xbox Live, I get games?
For like ever?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
honestly, like, I mean, I keep saying it almost all the time, but it's such a different like core mindset around it. Like it's just like I installed so much stuff on my Vita this past week, and it's just like this is great. Like I would never have paid for this port of Metal Gear Slug, like Metal Slug XX. I never would have done that, but they just gave it
Right.
to me, so now I can play it, and I'll mess around with Metal Slug for like 20 minutes or whatever, and that's great. Like thanks for doing that. Like they just kind of like I have a Vita packed with content that I'm kind of curious about, and they just kind of provided that for me for my like monthly fee or whatever. Like it seems like a really smart way to kind of win favor and also just provide me with something I actually want.
That's
And
like the 4 launch games for the Vita that I wanted. Like
yeah, I mean,
whenever I get a Vita, I have them
like
because they're ready to install right now.
honestly, other than like Lumines, yeah, you have Wipeout, Uncharted, and Gravity Rush, which everyone was freaking out over, and those are there for you.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
kind of like, all right, wow, like you guys did really well with this whole thing. I'm kind of I'm still really into it. I don't know when my subscription ends though. I got a card and it seems like it should be any day now, but I don't know when it is, so I haven't bought a new one yet. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
It doesn't matter though. Like all the stuff you have installed just simply won't work, but then as soon as you get
An
PlayStation
card?
Plus again, they will.
Yeah,
So
I
you
mean,
don't have to keep it renewed.
those cards are easy to get and everything. Like I was holding one in my hand today and I was just like, I don't know if it's expired yet. I don't know. I should look like I guess I'll log in and maybe it'll tell me. Like is there a way to kind of see when my membership ends or I don't know.
I don't think so.
Anyway, yeah, PlayStation. I mean, that is the big thing. Like the new console's out. I went to a retail store today to kind of just see what's going on over there. Sold out, obviously. Like it sold 1 million units or whatever. People are all talking about that. But
If you can find a PlayStation 4, will you buy it? Like if it's just sitting on a shelf?
no.
I probably
I
will.
honestly just wanted to, you would or
For the first time in a while, I actually have money in the account
oh okay.
that's just sitting. So like, whatever, right? Why not? But I'm secure enough knowing I can use that money for other stuff because I won't find it in a store for a while. So I'll go ahead and maybe buy a little snack or something, maybe some sushi. I could go for some sushi, actually. I should go for sushi. We should go for sushi sometime.
I've been wanting to go for sushi for a while. I've kind of want to make it some sort of like reason, like an event, like let's go somewhere good and get good sushi. Like I think I've had like a thing or two at like Edo or something, but that's not what I mean.
No, like,
Like
really, you don't go for sushi often?
well,
A lot
like
of my friends and I just go for sushi, like boats of them.
I apparently like okay, yeah, friends I have just aren't into weird food for the most part. Like they
How is sushi weird?
no, I just mean
It's
like
delicious.
they're not adventurous eaters. Like it's just like, do you want to go to like Vietnamese or something or Korean? It's just like, can we just go to like a burger place or how about the pub? And you're just like, I'm not picky. I can eat those too, but there's so many other options, you guys. Like, it's kind of constrained things.
Well, you get sick of fried food, right? After a while.
Yeah,
So
eventually.
sushi is just kind of like what I'm talking about specifically is how you were saying like pub food or something. Like you can get sick of that really, really quickly. At least I can.
Like, there's not much exploration to be had. It's like, do you want a burger with this on it or a burger with this on it? Or chicken wings with this sauce or this sauce? It's just like, this is all indistinguishable at some point. What is this? What are we watching?
People eating sushi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. If you ever want to go, I'm totally down because that's my favorite thing to go out for like lunch and stuff with people for.
Okay. I'll definitely.
Because then like you just both split the cost of like 2 boats or whatever, and you get like 60 pieces of sushi,
Sounds good.
and then maybe some soup to start
I like soup.
or something.
I really like.
Well, I don't like miso soup really, but some places have other soups, and those are delicious.
I don't mind miso soup, but okay. Yes, we just made some sort of dinner plans on the podcast. So
There you go.
Yo.
Hey,
boats of soup.
we can go ahead and podcast while we're eating sushi.
We could. That is
I'm actually looking to get a GoPro.
okay.
I just don't want to order it. Although if I order it, I could use our Amazon link and get some cash back.
I guess I have been listening to a bunch of Mega 64 podcasts in the last week because I missed a bunch, and that is totally
Yeah.
stuff they do where they go to a restaurant and just leave the camera on and order burgers or something, and it's kind of great. But
Yeah.
yeah. So sure, okay. Also, yeah, podcasts. I listen to them, and do you want to talk about those? Or?
Do we want to talk about podcasts? I'm going to quickly talk about a movie I didn't finish
Oh,
because
no.
it was movie night for me.
Okay.
It was We're the Millers. I haven't finished it yet because I had to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. We tried to see this movie a bunch
Yeah.
months ago. Like when it came out, it was like, all right, well, I don't want to pay for this on Friday because it looks kind of stupid. But Tuesday, sure, sold out. Next week, sold out again. Next week, let's not even try, and then we just kind of lost interest. So, is it worth it? Like, should we have done that? How's it going so far?
It's pretty stupid.
But like fun?
Um, you know what? Actually, yeah. I will say, like, I'm not a huge fan of Sudeikis
Okay.
at all.
Like horrible bosses. He didn't do anything for you, or
That movie in general didn't do anything for me.
from the director,
But
paying a call and callbacks. But okay.
there you go. I don't know. It has like maybe who's the writer for it? Do you know? Because the writing is actually pretty good in a lot of spots.
No idea who the right.
Okay. Um, I think they could have got someone other than Jennifer Aniston. I don't like her. I never have liked her, and even though everybody says it, I don't think she's hot at all. So her as a stripper is kind of like disgusting
Well, it's
to
just
me.
in the trailer just now, and it's yeah. I mean, Friends, I guess, was a huge cultural touchstone for a lot of people, so that might.
Right, but I mean those people are fucking dumbass mongoloids, and I don't want to deal with them.
Did you never get
I
into
guess.
Friends either? Because
I watched quite a few of them, and no, I didn't.
like, yeah, I don't know. It was like Seinfeld. Eventually, when I like sat down and watched it, I was like, okay, I get why this was popular. This is pretty funny. Like, it's pretty clever. But it was like the same era of sitcom, and it just seemed to be like, oh, this is just more bullshit. Like, this is just, we got stunt casting, we got a big celebrity guest to come in this week, and like just all these dumb things. It's just like, I don't care. I don't care about this. Like, I would never get pulled in. When I turn it on, I'd be like, oh, Bruce Willis is there, and I just, whatever. Like, that's not enough to make me watch a thing. So, I didn't ever investigate that whole thing. Frasier, on the other hand, really
I
fun.
loved Frasier.
I thought it was
I still
okay.
do.
I thought it was
Yeah,
pretty good.
it's very clever,
Like,
and I think that's why people hate it because people that watch TV are retarded.
well, it's like, like self-aware about like high class people or whatever, but like it's having fun with it. David Hyde Pierce is great. It was okay. I mean, it's probably dated, horrible '90s sitcom tropes and all that, but I would watch episodes of that. Sorry, yeah, Jennifer.
Sure. Anyways, We're the Millers, I guess, for anybody that doesn't know. It's a comedy movie where a drug dealer, like a weed dealer, I should say, not just drugs in general, but a marijuana dealer, kind of loses all of his money and his weed and stuff, and to pay back his supplier, he does a job for him where he has to go down into Mexico and, unbeknownst to him, steal a whole bunch of weed from a giant, like,
Cartel or
cartel dude.
okay.
Yeah. So and to do it, they go under the guise of a family, the Millers, and it's him, his a stripper that lives in the building across the hallway from him in the same building, and a kid whose mom ran out on them or something like that, and a homeless girl that they found on the street at some point in the beginning.
Okay.
So just this
Motley
like
crew
group
of random characters.
of random characters that have nothing really to live for, and they're all going to get paid money or whatever to do this, like pretending to be a family and go down. And wackiness ensues. It has Nick Offerman in it. I don't know. It's one of those stupid, just kind of like turn your brain off movies, and I think for that, it's pretty good.
Well, it's like the wacky road trip, right? Like just watching it,
Yeah.
looked like Vacation or something. Like just a modern take on that, but
Sure.
with a whole kind of like not a family, but yeah. subversive take on it or something. Maybe like there's drug
Sure.
dealers and crime, but it's still just we need wacky characters together doing stuff
Sure.
on the road.
I don't know. Like,
Sure.
I would not go. What?
No, I was just like, yeah, you would not pay $12.75. Is that what you're saying?
Fuck no. I would not go see it in a theater.
Okay.
That would be a waste of money. The way I'm seeing it is probably the best way to see it, but I'm not going to get any more specific.
Okay. iTunes.
Yeah.
On-demand videos, probably.
It probably is on there, actually.
Yeah. Paid
I haven't
$4.
used iTunes in a long time, and I begrudge anybody that does. Even to listen to our podcast, what are you doing? You use iTunes a lot, don't you?
Not anymore. I have not bought an album in quite a while. Just because, like, I just don't. I've not like gotten music at all in quite a while. It just stagnated at some point. It's just like the things I'm adding to, like, I mean, for podcasts, I guess yes, I still use iTunes to download those, but that is kind of the only content I keep adding to my iPod on a regular basis. Like,
You gotta use Stitcher, dude. For one thing, they support us,
yeah,
but more importantly, they're great.
but I don't have a lot of streaming data or anything, so yeah.
But that's why they're good. You are their target audience. Anyways, enough of the Stitcher commercial. But yes, we're on Stitcher, so
Check us out there. Give us a
Stitcher.com.
review. And speaking of iTunes, why don't you review this over there too? It's simple enough.
because
to do.
we won't ever read them.
That's true. I don't review stuff I like on there. Like I just don't. Like it's just like I might give a star rating or something, but it's like, man, type out my thoughts about it. Like some of them I have a lot of thoughts, and some of them I don't care at all. So I just won't. And then I don't.
You're the majority of people, though. People don't like to comment or like rate things they like up. It's only people that are angry about stuff that will give you a piece of their mind.
Yeah. So it just doesn't happen. Like I don't know. It took kind of very specific prompting for me to review Idle Thumbs, for example. I did do that. And Giant Bombcast I only did when I was like at my least excited about it. So if you find my review on there, it is like this negative Nancy on there, 3 out of 5, and I have like a bunch of
Negative Nathan.
Yeah, I just have a bunch of points of like, this is how you improve this. Why is there this section? That doesn't make sense. And like I just kind of run through it.
That's what you got in a fight with the Giant Bomb community over, right? Because you posted it in there too.
Actually no, they were decently receptive about it. Like I remember, like,
Oh.
well, at least the one post I remember was like, I came in here expecting a fight or something, but I was actually like, okay. Because, like, the main thing I kind of emphasize, like, why aren't there more emails? Like, I know there's a giant community emailing all the time. Why don't you give more attention to that instead of, like, 6 minutes or whatever? And eventually that seemed to kind of happen. So they fixed it. I don't know. It worked out. But, yeah, it's
All it took was one of the members dying.
not where I was going with that. But
Kind of.
No.
I mean, come on. Let's be honest. He was the one that ran it before, and it all of a sudden got fixed after. I
No.
didn't think he liked doing the email stuff.
it's like weird going back further. Like I was listening to some old ones from 2011, and they would play with the structure for a while, and I loved it when they did that. Like when they had the random emails.
I like that too. There was one episode in particular when they like started just doing random shit, and everybody was like,
Yeah.
like they just didn't know what they were doing.
One of the ones I listened to recently was really great. It was just like, hey everybody, it's Tuesday. This is Giant Bombcast emails, and they just jump right in to emails, and everyone is
Yeah.
totally flabbergasted for like the first 2 minutes, and I thought it was really great. And they actually just delved right into a bunch of emails right up front, and then kind of eventually got to news and whatever. Like, and it's just kind of like this is way better, and they just kind of did that once as an experiment. So
That like reminded me of. Do you remember that episode of Podtoid where Brad Nicholson took over for like the first half because Anthony Birch was late?
I don't know. I'm more accustomed to Brad Nicholson hosting Electric Hydra, so any of my podcasting memories of Brad Nicholson hosting things are that. So if I heard that Destructoid, it would just lump right in, and I wouldn't remember.
Or no, he does the second half. I think the episode is literally called Brad Hosts Second Half.
Okay.
It's hilarious to come back from break or whatever, and he just goes crazy and just like goes through the news real quick. It's like, what are your thoughts about this? What do you think? And it's just like really fast paced.
Okay.
And they're all flustered. It's great. It's one of the best episodes, so people should check that out. Maybe I should find a link
Check it out
and
on
put
iTunes.
it in the show notes.
Bring it back. It's up available there.
Leave a review. They will not read it because they any of them no longer work for Destructoid, so
Yeah.
they don't care about your thoughts about what they did.
So if you want to review the new, if there is a Podtoid at all, which there might not be.
No, it's the Hey Ash podcast. The Hey Ash What You Playing or whatever, the Hobcast, or I don't know what they call
Is
it.
that affiliated with this?
With Destructoid?
Yeah.
No, it never has been.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So okay.
That's just Anthony Birch's thing, so he does that with the people.
Yeah. Okay. I've stopped paying much attention to Anthony Birch, and I think he was part of why Twitter was annoying to me, and I just wandered away. I just don't.
I started unfollowing people that are working for game companies.
Okay, yeah, I've pruned a few just because it's just like I don't actually care that you were the environment artist on The Last of Us. Like whatever, like whatever. I'm not gonna stop and marvel at that forever. So just I'm moving on. Like I don't know. That's one.
Also, Mouth is saying you should get TDP to randomly do the shake up.
Oh, you know what? Fair enough. Like we've definitely kept the same formula. I feel like we at least try to answer like literally everything that gets sent to us if we can. So occasionally that section will go for quite a while. But I mean, juggling up the order of things, maybe we could do that. I'd at least like remember. I remember when I would edit, I would always throw in different music because it's just like, well, nobody's checking on me this time, so I'm gonna sample this Suburban All Stars song. That was my go-to.
You put in the can as the beginning of one of our episodes.
I sure did, because that song's fantastic.
But it's only the first like doo-doo, 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 and then we start.
Yeah, it doesn't get to the actual rapping because it gets really quickly.
It gets really explicit.
Well, the name of the song really says it all.
In the can, in the can. Do you get the significance?
Yeah, they say that.
Fuck you in the ass in a bathroom.
Yep.
Of the 7-Eleven.
Where I play Keno. Yep.
One finger in your ass, two fingers in your twat.
In the motherfucking can. Yeah. Classics from Petaluma. The Petaluma rap scene blowing up right now.
I love some of Jeff's lines in that song. It's just like, how the hell do you have a career?
Yeah. Well, not in music, but if only. That would.
No, like in general. Like in music, it would make more sense because it's just like artistic expression. But it's like, how do you work for CBS?
Yeah.
And say shit like that?
I don't know. Like, yeah, that's fair enough, I guess. But at the same time, like, the world's got to get looser about that kind of stuff because it's just going to happen. Like, there's so much media on all the time right now. Like, someone's recording you. I don't know. Like,
The world has to get used to fingers in each hole.
yeah. That's not what I.
That's exactly what you were
Like, we're
getting
going
at.
for fingers in the ear or something. Like, you can't do that forever. You can't, not listen. But okay.
Sure. That's exactly what I meant.
It's not. But I don't even know if I want to talk about it, but, like, I mean, all the Mayor Rob Ford shit that's going on. Like, just that kind of.
Like, I don't even know specifically a lot about it. I just know about some of the secondhand stuff I've heard.
Yeah, like, just the mimetic nature of that dude's, like, complete meltdown, essentially. It's kind of fantastic, and it's super weird that it's just this Canadian politician. But, yeah, it's obviously getting a lot of headlines everywhere.
It's kind of sad, too, because he's losing it. Like, he's just losing it.
Kind of, but I mean, he's clearly been self-destructive for a while. Like, it's just like, well, I have a severe drinking problem, and that led to me smoking crack. It's just like, well, okay, like, this is obviously an ongoing.
It's basically what Ralph Klein would have been if, like, somebody hadn't been keeping up with him, I think.
Right. Oh, man, if Rob Klein, that's how much.
Close enough.
Yeah, whatever. Jeez. If Ralph Klein was, like, 12, like, nowadays, like, who knows? Yeah, there'd probably just be video of him drunk or something, and it's just like, oh shit, well, now we got a problem. But because there's no video, it doesn't matter. Not everyone had a camera then, so you get away with that kind of thing. Not
That really actually did change a lot of shit.
yeah, everyone's got to be more responsible now, or everyone's got to lighten up about it. Which I'm not sure what exactly is going on over there because it's just like he is still effectively mayor, but they're stripping him of power through just votes and stuff. Like it's like the council voted today, he loses these abilities now, but he like it's still like no, he's still mayor. Like it's kind of amazing, but I don't know. First term,
Yeah,
it won't last.
I don't know.
It won't.
It won't last.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't.
No.
Because meltdowns or not, you should not be in a position of power if you can't handle that shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so We're the Millers. You haven't finished it. Bouncing back to that.
No, but I'm pretty sure that it's gonna end the way I think, whereas this ragtag team that was formed, well, that didn't care about each other, will learn to like be a family or something, and they might like visit each other on Thanksgiving or something like that.
Okay. But, like, regardless of how it ends, you've had enough fun thus far to be like, yeah, okay. This is okay.
I will finish it, and I will finish it on my own time, not only work time, so that has to say something.
Do you want to just keep rolling with the negative Nathan theme? Because I have another thing that kind of just wrinkled.
Okay. Yep, let's do it.
And it's like the worst topic to kind of like just be like down on, because it's like even more so like okay, I guess briefly I'll set the stage a bit with we seem to be like the only people who are a little skeptical about Humble Store that I've heard express opinions on the matter. Like everyone's just like, "Yay!" and we're just kind of like, "This seems shady and I don't like it and this is weird." And
But at the same time, I guess we should say that we don't care enough to actually like try a boycott or something like.
Yeah, like it's like
I think we're just indifferent.
Yeah, it's like I'll take the cheap games, whatever. But this still seems like less honorable than it probably is, maybe. Like this is still a business play on some level, and that the percentages are locked and all that. Like this is a little weird. But charity kind of being this kind of smokescreen thing is something we only seem to be kind of feeling on the matter. Like everyone's just like, whatever, it's charity, they're curing stuff. This is great. How could you think this isn't great? You're terrible. And you're just like, okay, I'm
Sure.
just floating opinions. Just maybe this isn't as
Who said this to you?
Nobody. I'm just kind of like listening to a podcast where it's brought up as just like this is great, or like the way this conversation happened on Top Down. Like it was like, yeah, I don't know about that, but like I don't know. Sean wasn't having it. Like that was the greatest thing, and how could you? And I was just like, okay, I just don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, that's Sean, right? He's always like that about stuff. So whatever.
I mean, it's just like I think
he is not a very pessimistic person.
No,
I will say.
So I guess our like kind of pessimistic approach to this of being like this just makes Humble less special. This just makes it another storefront I need to check every day. This is going to make me personally care less about a lot of the stuff going on over there. And that's just how it is. Like, I don't know. That's just how I do stuff.
I actually kind of stopped caring when I was getting emails every day about a new deal.
Right.
It just became less special and became spam.
Right. But, like, I mean, I guess I still maintain, like, there are less and less places for independent developers to go now to get any kind of special attention, which seems to be kind of an issue. But at the same time, maybe the gravy train is over for that indie movement. Like maybe it's like time to actually put more effort into stuff, and like you don't need to just get a windfall and get to the top and not necessarily deserve it. But man, sorry, I'm just negative Nathan thinking about stuff. I will play more of some games I have written off thus far. Anyway, so
like what?
I don't get Gunpoint, man. That game's not that good.
Okay, I was almost about to buy that, and then I watched like gameplay footage of it. I'm like, oh, I'll never play that.
Like, I mean, load it up. Like, we share Steam libraries. Try it out. I don't find it very fun at all. Like, people are like, oh man, this is so fun. It's just like, okay. You use the mouse. You're a spy. You can jump. Like this isn't very good. And then finding out it's not even that long or whatever. It's just like okay, like this is why did this happen? Like why was this sitting on the top of the Steam page for so long?
Because indie games and everybody's obsessed with indie games when really indie games are kind of just as bad as AAA games sometimes because everybody thinks they can make a game now and everybody isn't good at it.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Like or like there's games I'll see kind of come up on like just the indie like focused media that look interesting but also look kind of wonky, and their wonkiness isn't ever stated. And it's just like, well, I don't know. Like, okay, what's like Risk of Rain is a new game that just came out. Look
Yeah,
potentially kind of cool. Like I get that.
I saw Patrick playing that actually.
Yeah, I watched that whole video last night, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, this looks kind of like a side-scrolling Borderlands or something. Like you're just getting crazy weapon modifiers and fighting a bunch of dudes with your buddy, but
And dying a lot.
and dying a lot.
Apparently.
And there's kind of like the rogue like type thing where like you go in once and do a run, and then when you die,
Well, you can't make an indie game these days that isn't roguelike, don't you know? Didn't you
I
get
like that
memo?
though. Like I'm not angry about that. It's more just like something about like this the slapdash way text is popping up all over the screen and how zoomed out it is and stuff. Like it just looks rough, but
Like how lazy it is.
it kind of didn't phase them. So it's just like, well, it's probably fun, but then I kind of come back to that thing of like, well, if you play anything with a friend, it's fun. So does that make it good or not? Like Gauntlet, the original, is fun with friends, but that game's terrible, right?
Yes.
Kinda.
Yeah.
But
No, not kind. It is.
yeah,
Just
it's
straight
like
up.
you and your friends messing around. It's like, yeah, whatever. Like Blue Dwarf needs food badly, and this is great. That's not even your
And like especially at that time.
Yeah.
That was big for that too.
add 10 years. Like, yeah, but co-op was novel and just inherently. But I don't know. Like, it just seems like there's the scrutiny level for indie is low, and the scrutiny level for big budget is really high, and it just seems kind of weird right now.
Yeah, they should both be kind of evened out maybe.
Like, big games shouldn't cost as much as they do. Like, little games, okay, sometimes that's true. Like some of the best ones are cheaper than you think, and some of the kind of ones are like $30, and you're just like, what?
Like how much is Super Meat Boy now?
That game's routinely like almost no money, like $2.50 or $1.
And that is consistently my favorite indie game.
Yeah,
Still.
it's pretty awesome. That is for sure.
Yeah, so like even Binding of Isaac, to just jump in and play something for a while and then turn it off. Like great games. Why do you have to make like I'm trying to think of it. There's a lot of 3D shooter indie games now that are coming out and they're just trying to get like $20 to $30.
I mean, I still have only played like 5 minutes of it because of some of the least fun 5 minutes I've spent. Guncraft is really bad, but that is a game that exists and they're charging money, and I don't know. It just seems like the least inspiring.
How much?
I don't know, like like $10, I think, which isn't the worst offender by any means, but it's just something about it is just like I don't. Why is this like what made you like it seems somebody played Minecraft and was like, man, if this had guns, they'd really have something. You're just like, you're an idiot. What?
Yeah, like what are you doing?
I said earlier, like I don't mind guns, but like it's just like you need a reason for it. Like this just seems messy and just kind of lazy. Like it's like the same bland pixelated thing look of Minecraft, but without the creativity side of it. It's just like, well, what are you doing at that point? Can't your computer play the original Counter Strike? Like this is Doom, but worse. I don't know. It was not interesting to me. I got a free code for it, so
Doom's a really good game.
Doom might well hold up. Answer question in the chat. Did I find Heart Gold? No, I've yet to find Heart Gold. I'm so sorry.
I don't think you're gonna find it. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. I apologize so profoundly, Meowth. I promised you
You're such a sarcastic
an
bastard.
elaborate, like just blow by blow playthrough of Heart Gold, and it has not happened yet. But
We could do that. We do have a channel for that now.
okay, good.
Well, have you been we're on like what the fuck was the last video? I think as of this recording, we're on episode 10 for Silent Hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I want to play more of that. We should do that. But yeah. Come December, my work schedule spaces out more, and that's awesome. I asked for that, and it's happening. So it'll be great.
it will be great, and we'll do another game
There'll
too.
be time.
I started asking people if they had any suggestions, and somebody said some of the Ninja Turtle games maybe
I've never.
could be okay.
I don't think I've ever actually beaten Turtles in Time, so accomplishing that might be a bit of a milestone. I should do that.
Like the original.
The original, like, well, the Super Nintendo. Yeah, not that. Oh god, the 361 was such a disappointment.
I think the 360 slash PS3 one though, you can do 4 turtles, right?
Sure, but that won't save it.
Well, we could get 2 other people and do it.
The music's bad. Like, you mean play it and be angry at it, and that'll be the thing? Is like just
Sure.
out
Why
at
not?
how bad this game is. I guess so, but man, I really want to play the original too, if we can. Okay, I didn't actually ever transition into the topic I was embarrassed to get into, so here it goes. I tweeted about it yesterday, so hopefully that, like, I didn't get any people angry at me or anything there, so it's probably fine. In the past week, the whole Bat Kid story came out.
Yeah, okay.
So the Make-A-Wish Foundation, their whole thing, I guess, is submit a especially tragic case to this charity, and they will do their darndest to make their dreams come true and just give them a good time or whatever. I don't know if it was just when that story hit, I had just had a really terrible day at work, and I was like in a big stretch, and I was just having a kind of negative day. But that story just bothered me in terms of just how much attention it got, and like the kind of core thing behind the charity just seems to be like, well, the kid's fine. Like he beat cancer essentially. So what is this for? Like, what is this doing? What is this? What's going on? Like, it just seems so weird to me. I didn't I mean, I get it's supposed to be heartwarming. I get it's supposed to be really cute and awesome and whatever. But it seems so weird. Like, it's just like, this is, what kind of charity is this? Like, can I just make my dreams come true? Like, submit something and get.
If you're dying, yes.
But he's not dying. That's the thing. He was, but now he's not.
Right.
So that's what makes it weird.
See,
like, if it was like some sort of like big.
I think it's
send-off-
just pathetic because Batman could never be a kid because you could just kick Batman in the face then and he would be useless. So this is just a ploy to get an ugly child some attention.
Oh my god. At least, oh man. Okay, if you're gonna make yourself like the lightning rod for saying the worst stuff, I'll be able to like get a little relaxed about it. But
Okay.
I don't know, like something about just like this charity of just like give this kid inflated sense of worth and like feel important for some reason. Like, it just seems weird. Like, it's just like, what is this gonna do? Like, aren't other kids gonna be kind of jealous or something? Like, it's just like, I am, and I'm a 26-year-old man. My city has never thrown me a party. That's
Wait. You're jealous
I'm like,
of a kid?
I'm a little like put off by that. Like, like all you needed to do was like, it's like, it's I get that at the core of this is a life-threatening disease. So I'm the most selfish total dick. But how do you get the city to throw a party for you? How does like the president commented on this? Christian Bale and Ben Affleck are like, hell yeah, this is awesome. Kids are great. And it's just like, what the fuck? What? Like, it just seems like so weird that it's just like, nobody accomplished anything in this other than the doctors, and they don't matter. Like,
I guess just as a side note to all of this, the Philippines has seen the worst storm ever recorded.
okay, like, yeah, that's way worse. It's a way bigger story. Like, it's like the Philippines is getting destroyed. Meanwhile, healthy kid giving giant ass parties, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it's just like, it's kind of my same weird issue with like Child's Play as a charity. Like, it's just like, they're already in hospitals with advanced medical techniques. They're doing okay. They're getting bored though. We have all these bored kids. We should give them video games. And you're just like, okay, I like where your heart is at. Like you're feeling sad for these kids. I don't know if you know, but over here in this other country, there are kids who are dying because they don't have water. So I don't know. Like,
There is a charity you can actually donate to for that
I know,
too.
but it seems weird that this other charity even exists. Like, it's just like priorities are obviously out of whack for me. I find they're out of whack, but like it's more just like there's kind of just this weird hypocrisy thing. Like, it's just like, do you actually care about charity, or are you just kind of trying to find a charity that fits what you're into? And I'm into video games, and I wish I had more video games when I was a kid, so this is easier for me to give to. But it's not necessarily the most pressing thing going on, you know? So it's just, I don't know.
Because the most pressing thing is obviously Bat Kid.
Well, like Bat Kid seems to be just a kind of another example of like, well, the real story here is this kid is no longer in extreme danger from dying of cancer. That's good. But
Can I really piss you off for a second?
yeah, okay.
You just know that Bat Kid, when he was like terminally ill in the hospital, he probably got child play support too.
So he's got like a DS now, and like he's got a 3DS.
Yeah, just
And
like he got loaded up from Child's Play, an organization you're not very happy with,
Well, like I just
and
find,
now he's getting all this attention for being healthy after.
like I don't know. Like, I mean, I get that charities are just run by kind of demand, right? Like, it's just like, hey, do you want to give money to this? And apparently, a lot of people say, yeah, this sounds like a great organization. That is their right to do as they want. You give your money to whatever charity matters to you, I guess. But I don't know. Like, I was thinking, like, at my most cynical moment yesterday, like, if I could, I would try to create some sort of database that like catalogs everyone who was like, "Oh yeah, this is amazing," and then kind of if they ever at some point in the future like say something about, "Oh man, you should donate to this thing over here," it's just like, "Well, you already fucked up. Like, what are you talking about?" Or something. Like if they ever admonish somebody for not taking some sort of international crisis seriously, it's just like you don't take it seriously on the most profound level because you are worried about healthy kids being bored versus kids living or whatever. Like it's I don't know. Charity quandaries. I just don't.
I just gotta go ahead and detour a little bit.
Yeah.
When you were just like talking about how everybody's obsessed with this kid, and you're sitting here 26 years like older, whatever the hell you said.
Yeah.
Mr. Marshmallow's like, holy shit, you're 26, Nathan? Damn, you look good for your age.
I get okay. I someone said that earlier today that I am older than I look, which I don't know. I guess so.
Well, he specifically said you look like 16.
Great. Well, I guess I'll keep getting carded at bars and things. So
Do you get carded?
yeah, I do.
Do you?
Yeah, I was trying to think about it though. Like, I mean, I have a bit of like stubble right now. Shouldn't that eliminate some of that? But it doesn't seem to work. I don't.
I mean, unless you're brown. Because brown kids can grow better beards than like 40-year-old men.
Okay. But
So, in that case, you have to ID everybody with a beard.
hmm,
Unless they're like really old looking if they're brown. Otherwise, white people can usually get away with just growing a beard, yeah.
right. But okay, like I mean, sorry just to go back to it, but like I mean, I know it's the most petty thing in the world to look at like a 5-year-old kid who went through a horrible shitty thing and then everyone parties at the end.
No, dude, fuck that kid.
But like it's like there's no like like scaled down version for like different levels of thing. Like it's like I was honestly in the most okay, like I sprained my arm real bad in 3rd grade.
Oh my god.
Where was my party?
You know what is,
I don't want
it's kind of funny you talk about this because
and the
the episode of Silent Hill where you discussed this or whatever just came out.
right. Wait, where I sprained my arm? I actually brought that up.
Because we were like, what is this, an infirmary or whatever? And then I asked you, have you ever been in the infirmary? You're like, yeah, I sprained my arm real bad when I was in 3rd grade.
There you go. So what I'm saying is, like, I don't expect obviously the same level of crazy attention. Like, come on. but maybe the mayor, like a scaled down version, scaled down, maybe like a local councilman or something, and like a big ass cake, something, some acknowledgement that I had a shitty
It could
time.
be delicious cake too.
Yeah,
You can even maybe call the cake boss over in Jersey or whatever, get him to bake one.
that's a little lavish. I don't even
That's
need
a
that.
little extreme.
I don't even need that. I'm just saying,
Okay.
like relative to the level of like where's kind of like the just toned down charity where it's just like kind of a shitty time foundation or something, and it's just kind of like
Every Canadian organization ever.
yeah, like well, but you donate and then someone posts like, okay, this guy had a really bad day. Like he came back from vacation and his car got towed, and then there was a flood in his town, and he was able
Oh man, I remember that episode where we talked about that too.
and
I
then
can
they
stop
lost his job like a week later. Is there anything we can do? And then they put together a little care package or something, and hey, that would mean a lot at that time. But no
It
one
has like a
cared.
loofah in it.
Well, what?
A
A
loofah.
loofah? What is that?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ask Brittany right now.
What? Bath sponge of some kind. Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
that thing where you like the soap in it and everything. Yeah, whatever. Like, I mean,
It's because like every care package has a loofah, right? Like every basket that you buy or whatever, there's always a loofah.
I mean, oh, it's just that observation of like everyone cares about you when you're a little kid because you're an adorable little kid. And then past a certain point, there's like this middle zone where no one cares about you at all. Like just no one by default cares about like 20 to 70-year-olds, 60-year-olds maybe. Once you hit 70, you
Dude,
get
nobody cares about you after you're like 13 and up.
kind of, yeah. It just seems like there's this steep drop off of just like, all right, you're just another fucking kid now. Ugh, damn teenagers. Like it's like immediate. They just like the world just gets disdain for you, and then it's like now you need to kind of prove your worth or something. But for a while there's a sweet zone where you don't need to do anything, and I missed my window or something, and I'm just like bitter and lame about it and blah. But whatever, yeah, that I don't know. That news story just pushed my button, and I was not expecting it to do that because it's in the guise of just like, oh, look at this cute thing that happens. You like Batman, and it's just like, oh my god, why is this happening? The president? Are you fucking kidding me? Like it just went all
It just escalated really quick. At first, it's kind of like, oh, okay, it's kind of cool that like he beat this with Thane. Oh, Christian Bale and Ben Affleck are okay. Okay, the fucking president.
yeah, like it's just like it went so much further than I went. It's just like, what is going on? Like, why is this happening? Ugh. And I don't know. Then yesterday I found out like there's some sort of not to the same extent, but there's something going on with my own family in Edmonton in relation to cancer research or something. Like my
Oh Jesus.
yeah, my little cousin-in-law, I guess, something. Second cousin. He's like
Second cousin.
he's like 4. There's some big charity drive for like this local family that has a kid with cancer. And it's just like what is going on? Like I just like it's the weirdest way to hear about this via social media instead of like family
A
network.
phone call.
Yeah. Our family's bad at communicating, it seems. Like there's just like this void between the two cities that we just don't know what's going on with each other. And
Well, on the plus side, Edmonton has the Baker Hughes Center or whatever they're called.
was it what?
Was it Baker Hughes? No, it's something else. They have the cancer center in Edmonton, so that kid will get treatment.
You good. Like that's at no point in this am I like let's like come on.
No, I mean, I think everybody knows that this whole time listening to you, you're basically saying all kids should die of cancer. That's exactly what you were saying, kind of, but I'm not disagreeing with you, so I don't know if you're a bad person or if I'm a bad person for being an accomplice.
That is not what I'm saying, but I don't know if I'm like somehow a psychopath or what, but I think I've come to terms with the fact that there are 7 billion humans, like I believe that. So I'm comfortable with like there's a
With losing a few.
yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
every now and then it's obviously going to strike my personal network and that has happened several times this year and it's been really upsetting. But
It sucks.
maybe that's also kind of built a couple layers on the shell right now, so we're just like whatever. like I'm a little more grouchy about it because it's just like, okay, like keep it to yourself. I didn't tell the news when when people I cared about were dying, so just settle down. Jeez, like it's a little, you know, snarky, but it was just kind of like a reactionary thing where it's just like, okay, like keep it to yourself. It was just like bad things are gonna happen. A lot of people are gonna, every day someone's having a bad day, but you know, we don't need to dwell on it. It's just kind of weird. Or what is the function?
No. People need to dwell on it in their own personal way or whatever. It doesn't need to be like
Oh,
United Nations affair.
right. Like you yourself are probably gonna dwell on it, and that's fine. But
I'm still dwelling on Ryan Davis for Christ's sakes, and he's not family. In fact, I only met that dude like twice ever.
yeah,
So
I know. Fair enough. It's just kind of like, I don't know, something about the expectation of just like default empathy or something. Like it's just like, I know humans should be empathetic. That's how we built societies and everything. But at some point, you just gotta deal with it yourself. Like I don't know what you want from me. Like why do you expect me to be as moved by this as you are? Like just go sort yourself out and come back later or something. Like I don't know. Like what do you want? From on some level, it's just,
what do you want from me?
what do you want from me? Charities? I got a lot of credit card debt. Leave me alone.
Is that your Brooklyn
This
accent?
is my Brooklyn accent. This is also how I talk to people soliciting charities. It's just like, what do you want from me? I got no money. I got less than
What you want
money. I
from
got
me?
negative thousands of dollars. I found
Oh, wise guy, eh?
yeah. Dog,
Oh, fuck.
get out. Whatever. It's that time of the year. It's a Christmas season. People are going to start asking about charities. Like, don't you care about this? And it's just like, I don't. Please leave me alone.
That, because I do. You know, when they're like, do you want to give $1 to dying kids? I'm like, no. And I take my change and leave.
I literally had to do that today when I was going to the Target, and I don't ever feel good. But it's just like professional guilt trippers. I don't.
I feel great about it because I love seeing their fucking dumbass faces when I down. Because you know that, like, they get asked the same thing that when they go out, like, these cashiers and stuff, and they want to do it, but then they see me actually doing it, and they're like, you magnificent bastard. It's like a mix of, like, I wish I could do that as well, and you're a terrible person.
Yeah.
There's a mix of both in there, and I fucking love it. I love
true,
it.
but you're kind of also just like, look, man, like, at some point,
I worked hard for my money. So hard for my money.
yeah, I just got off a
Yeah.
crazy shift, but it's still only nipping away at this mountain I'm working on. Like, leave me alone. I can't.
I always find the weirdest places do it. Like Tim Hortons, I'm going to buy my coffee. It's like I go buy my coffee for like $1.70, and then it's like, do you want to donate $1 so kids can go to camp? I'm like, no. It's like, that's another fucking coffee. Are you kidding me? That is almost an 100% charity rate for what I just paid you for your service.
Yeah. And
Of course I don't. Go fuck yourself. You're Tim Hortons. I don't fucking care.
I mean, I guess again, like if I had more control over exactly what was happening, I might be more interested. But because it's literally just trust us with this money to do the thing, I just don't want to do it. Like, I guess bouncing back to Child's Play, if they added a form where it's like choose which games you are sending, and you could like be like, no, this kid should really play this, this, and this. And
like Perfect Dark Zero is probably on there.
which is maybe actually why I am like genuinely more moved to give people in my Steam friends list gifts, because it's just like, oh, this guy wants to play Deadly Premonition Director's Cut. That guy's fucking awesome. I'm gonna give him that. As opposed to like
Sure.
some whiny kid somewhere wants to play Call of Duty. It's like, no, you shouldn't play that. Turn off your microphone. Stop it.
Yeah, like you should probably just go fuck yourself and get cancer.
That's not what I said, but
That's kind of what you're saying.
read between the lines. Yeah, it's right here. But I mean, this is such a potentially dark topic. I just feel we're dancing around this is weird crater.
I don't think I'm dancing around anything.
Just like, fuck charities, fuck cancer, whatever. It's all bullshit.
You know what I like? I like puppies and kittens and things that can't fight for themselves. Give them charity. Give them money. I'm gonna give my cat $5 right now. I don't actually have $5 on me, but
I, I guess I kind of wish, like, for some reason, I perceive a lot of charities as just kind of this layer of kind of not truthfulness around them. I don't know why I'm skeptical of them. Maybe it's a lifetime.
because of
Actually,
Invisible Kid.
I probably do know why I'm growing up. I grew up in like the confines of religion, which was always telling me things that would happen with my money that would be amazing and important. And then it was like, oh wait, never mind. This is all built on lies. So uh, fucking Christmas, man. Uh, so like whatever. It's like this religious thing. It's like I don't. Why is this still a thing? Let's just change the name like fully. Let's just change it.
No, let's just not do it.
Let's just not do it. Like, let's just
Yeah.
have winter. No, let's go back before it was a thing and just have winter solstice party. It's just like the moon's doing some weird shit. Let's have a party. Let's eat weird things and then go sacrifice goat down at the Stonehenge. Like do something weird. But
I mean, that's what they would have done.
yeah, that's what the druids would have done. Who's gonna mess with druids?
They're pretty cool.
Druids were
Actually, I don't play them in like games where there's a druid class. I don't like playing druids.
druid class. But okay,
Yeah, like in games and stuff.
what was I even freaking out about?
You were saying fuck Christmas.
Fuck Christmas, but more importantly, oh yeah, the layer of kind of like just subterfuge around charities. Like I just don't trust them. I kind of wish you could just be totally transparent and just be like, "Hey, I'm going to do a 48-hour live stream of me playing video games because I fucking love video games. Give me money." And that's it. There's no kind of I'm going to donate to poor kids. It's just like I just really want to play Assassin's Creed anyway, and I've heard it's like 30 hours long. So if you're willing to roll with me on this, I need to buy some pizzas and
People
soda.
do that though.
Really?
People actually do that. Yeah.
Like there's no
What do you
kind
think?
of click on the
I mean,
link to
not to-
donate to like the Caring for Kids Foundation or whatever. It's just like
Well, there are like some people do that,
Okay.
and you know what? I think charity streams maybe have like their place,
yeah,
but like, why do you think? Let's not beat around anything. Why do you think John streams? You think he does it
No,
because
I know. Like
he
that's
does it 'cause he
like
needs to
regular
eat.
weekly show John does essentially. Like that is his livelihood, and
Yeah,
puts a lot of production in and stuff. And then he'll also participate in a charity stream. But it seems like there's a lot of extra attention on charity streams when they happen. And actually, people have abused this. Like there was a guy on Twitch or whatever who was in a wheelchair pretending to be
the guy that gets up because he forgets.
exactly. Like
So good.
Like-
yeah,
it's like, of course that happened. Like it was only a matter of time before someone is like, okay, I like video games. Sitting in a wheelchair is fairly comfortable. If I just show up on this stream a lot in a wheelchair, people will eventually build up empathy for me. They will fund my video games profit. Like it's already happening. Like it's genius, but evil
I'm
because he's
looking for the video right now.
yeah, like
So-
he's being dishonest about it, and that's the worst part. So again, just be honest about it. It's just like, look, guys, the new Metal Gear's coming out. Things aren't going like I have a job, but that money's spoken for. I really want to throw a good old fashioned 2005 era like Metal Gear weekend and just veg out, drink a bunch of iced tea. I want to get some baked potato chips, and I just want to have a fun time. Please make this happen for me, and then just solicit the internet, and then they pay you.
We could probably do that, right?
Maybe. But yeah, here's
And there's that motherfucker just standing up.
yeah, it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
right. And then like all the lies around it to try to be like, oh, he fell. Actually, it was really tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Like, and you can't hear it because like I have it muted because we're talking and stuff.
mhm.
But like the girlfriend's whispering, it's like, oh dude, the camera's still on. Oh my god, you gotta get back in the chair, sort of thing.
And then she starts like saying bullshit, like just kind of like talking about something weird that happened.
Yeah, and then they flip the camera down
And then like
so he can get back in the chair and continue this lie.
and then afterwards in comments or whatever, there's like a bunch of just like, oh man, it was actually really weird. He fell and it was like this weird thing. And you're just like, okay, this is so great. Like totally caught red-handed. But I don't
It reminded me of, and I watched this the other day because I found it hilarious. It's when you wheeled out into the video of you wheeling out into a wheelchair
yeah.
with the mask on, and you're talking about newsroom. episode 1,
Oh right, I was talking
basically,
about the newsroom and Amazing Spider-Man.
and Amazing Spider-Man, and then you're just like, oh shit, oh, you know what? I don't actually need this. You just like stand up and walk away.
Well, because I couldn't wheel off screen and I needed to turn off the camera. So I just, yeah, improvised, man. Just lied. Yeah.
You just straight up lied about it.
hmm
It's pretty great though.
Dumb videos.
That
Yep.
that was over a year ago.
It was quite a while ago. That was at the other place. I don't have that wheelchair anymore. I had to get rid of it. So,
Did you?
yeah. So pour one out for the wheelchair. You can play the music. It's really sad.
And here it is, right here. But like that mask is kind of terrifying too. Did you hang on to that?
Yeah, I still have it. It was a BioShock 2 mask. We actually got it as a reward for getting a bunch of BioShock 2 pre-orders or something. Well, there was a bundle of stuff, including BioShock 2 itself, which at the time I was really bummed out I didn't get that because it's worth $60. But in retrospect, as we now know, video games are worth no dollars at all. So
Sure.
that mask is at least unique, right? So I'm kind of happy I have it.
Getting up and like you can't hear it again because no sound on the video.
But there I go.
But at the end, you're just like, sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody or something.
Like I wasn't trying to be misleading. I just it's a cool chair. Anyway, yeah, that was I don't know. It was we wanted to do a thing where we talk about movies, but it ended up just we weren't able to meet up often enough or something. It just
Right.
yeah. So now we just do this, and now it's got video components too, so I could put a poster behind me as we planned if I wanted to,
Sure.
and dress this up a bit. But we haven't done much video before. I don't know. I'm
No.
starting to kind of like anything else really go on this week? Do we have?
No, we got voicemails.
I mean, I
You want to go
complained
to
about
voicemails?
charities. Christmas was terrible.
Yep.
Um,
All the important notes were hit.
books,
Pretty much.
games. Okay, one more, if I may.
Yeah.
Ugh. I was asked at work by someone who was is a journalism student to just be interviewed because I'm into video games and all the consoles are going on right now and
Mhm.
that kind of thing. And while the conversation went fine, it also kind of quickly became apparent like this is really strange to some people how much I play video games, and it was like I wasn't getting self-conscious about how much I play in like a negative way, but it was more just like, oh yeah, I guess like me saying, yeah, probably about average 20 hours a week maybe playing video games, except when, Grand Theft Auto comes out, obviously I'm playing that 4 to 5 hours, you know what I'm saying? And like that kind of thing, just like
Yeah.
melting minds, like it was just like, what? Are you talking about 20 hours? And it's just like, yeah, probably. I mean, there was the 13 hours on, like 8 hours on Raptor, but then I also played Ghosts, and then like like just kind of itemize it, and then you're just like, yeah, 20 hours, and it's just like that's a lot of time, I guess, for people. But I don't know what they're doing. Like, what is I? This is just my little bubble. Like, this is what I do. This is
They're watching Friends because they're fucking idiots.
maybe they're marathoning
Yeah.
a lot more TV or something. But like, I don't know. Like, do you get self-conscious about playing games a lot ever? Like, that's just my primary hobby. Like, that's what I do.
I honestly don't play a whole lot of games ever
Oh,
anymore.
fair enough. Okay.
Like, I don't really do the 20-hour sessions. Like, I'll play a bunch,
Well, it's not.
and then that'll be it for that weekend.
Well, it's not. It's not the whole session is 20 hours. It's like over the course of one 7-day period. It seems to work out that way.
Right, but I don't play games when I come home after work. So 4 out of 7 of the days are already taken up, and then I'll do it probably once, like one day over the weekend. I'll put in a session of a couple hours or something, and then I'm just kind of done. Unless like the streaming part, I'll just kind of hang out and do stuff. Maybe like 10 to 15 hours. I'm probably in there
Okay. Like I
total.
my early estimate was like 12 or something, and then I was like, wait a minute, no, it's more than that. Like probably because I mean like between like iPhone stuff too, and like now that I have the Vita and whatever, like the just general tinkering. Like I almost make a distinction between like when I'm in a game and when I'm messing around with games. Because I'm messing around with games like every week. Like I'm just like trying stuff out. Like, it's like I'll play a little bit of this in like an hour or two, and I don't consider an hour or two that long because it's a video game. Like they're longer than that. But I guess that is a time I could have watched a feature film. I could have read a lot of a book or something. I could have gone out and eaten food with my friends or something, but I just opted to see what Deus Ex was all about. Like it's kind of just a choice that I've made, and it kind of, I don't know, it's just default now. Like that's just what I do. That's what people I listen to on podcasts do. Like it's just kind of this self perpetuating thing where that is how I do things. And I don't know if it's strange or not, but
If I get a Wii U and Monster Hunter, will you get Monster Hunter and we will hunt monsters together?
I don't know if I can commit to like the social gaming like timetable anymore. Like I used to go like after school, go online with my friends and play Counter Strike. Like that was a thing. But now it's like, well, I really wanted to play this game, so no, sorry. And that happens like in perpetuity, and I end up never being able to do that kind of stuff. So that would be a big investment for like kind of a dicey thing because I don't know. Like I don't honestly know if I'm that curious about Monster Hunter. Like I've heard it's really rewarding to kind of finally land a like killing hit on a big giant boss or whatever, but I almost feel like, well, this is just them commodifying Shadow of the Colossus, and I already have that, so whatever. Like I don't need it
Yeah.
strung out into like a 300-hour ordeal. It's just like I will just play this again when I want to fell a giant beast or whatever. So yeah. Like honestly, something about Dragon's Dogma like appealed to me a little, at least in theory, of like it's like a single player that it's like Japan Skyrim, and it's crazy. And it's just like okay, I just didn't get pulled in that way. It just didn't happen.
Is it because you don't like Japanese people?
No.
Okay, so you not liking Japanese people has no reason. Is no reason why you didn't like Dragon's Dogma. Got it.
Thanks for pigeonholing me in that. It's like, well, given this
It was
premise,
pretty good, right?
yeah, there's no way out of that one. So
You look so just like,
now I'm all
I got
racist.
thrown into it again.
Yeah. No, it's nothing inherent with like Japanese design or anything. It was just, I don't know.
You're not Phil fishing right now.
Well, like wrong game, wrong time. I think for me personally, like it could be a thing where I'll come back to it eventually when I have like a open week or something and just be like, wow, this is actually really cool. But yeah, actually, no. Yeah, actually, now that there's the updated like bigger version of it available on Plus, so maybe I'll just get that and see if they've polished it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Dark Arisen or whatever. Like I think it's got expansions in it or something. Uh,
Oh, is that like all of it
I
sort of thing?
like
The
yeah, like we
collection?
were saying it was the second one. I think it's literally just kind of the Knights of the Nine is in there kind of thing. Like it's just also has expansion content. I'm pretty sure it's also all of Dragon's Dogma is in it. So yeah, um, yeah, I don't know. Like I've heard much about Monster Hunter and such, but it to me just looked kind of like this might appeal to the Diablo fiend or something, like to the person who is way into Phantasy Star. Like this just doesn't look like it caters to what I'm into as a game. So
You said you're into that sort of game when you can play with a controller, though.
yeah, that's true.
I think you might be flip flopping here a little bit.
Well, I mean, I was saying that in relation to Amalur, but I also haven't picked that up again.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, because you were saying like Torchlight on the Xbox, you were all about
but I
that,
didn't
and
go
like,
home and buy it. I just kind of enjoyed messing around with it at your place. So
sure,
there's a limit to my interest in those things. I
sure,
guess it's like I prefer the loot getting with a controller, but I also have yet to see a loot getting game that drives me to the lengths it does for some people. Like it just doesn't do it. It just doesn't like that is not enough of a reason for me to keep grinding away at stuff. It needs to have something else, and if it doesn't, I just won't play it. I'll stop. Like I'll have a fun session with it and then never think about it again because the game left me with nothing to think about. Like it's just like, oh, what's going to happen at the end of that dungeon? It's just like, no, there's going to be a big monster or something. Like nothing interesting is in there, like at
sure.
all. So that's not gonna do it. Yeah. For a while,
All right.
at the height of my achievement lust, maybe, but not anymore. Anyway, let's move on to something. Sorry, I went one more thing.
Let's do voicemails.
Okay.
We got 4 this week. 4 big ones. I think I might have screwed up here because I didn't exactly. What are you doing with your
I'm
fingers?
putting up 4.
Oh. Okay.
In a weird way.
Okay. This first message is from Foxy the Kid.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's Foxy here, and I was just wondering if so I'm taking this digital media class in school, and I love it, it's so great, but there's just this one fucking kid named I can't even remember it. It's like fucking Jason? Yeah, Jason, if you hear this, fuck you. He doesn't
Whoa.
shut up. He intrudes onto other people's conversations, and he honestly can he just has to tell us how awesome his fedora is.
Whoa. First of all, Jason, if you're listening to this, please keep on listening after
Is
this
that
call. Anyways, let's
the
continue.
end?
And
No.
he has a neck beard. He's literally
Okay.
the epitome of me. I hate him, or I just used that word wrong. Either way, fuck you. So my question is, have you guys ever dealt with someone that you hate from school or at work? Just someone that you can't stand and wish they were gone. See you later. Probably ask another question another time. See you later, Pixel Responders, and hello, I guess. Fuck, I don't know.
All the pixel responders out there. That's
I like that,
yeah,
actually.
that's what they're called.
The responders.
Wow.
Yes, every day of my life, I fucking hate most of the people I work with, but, I mean,
The
yeah,
fedora
you
and
gotta do what
neckbeard thing, I don't know why that is a thing that has happened. Like either as a fashion thing or also the hate around it. Like it's just like whatever, dude's trying to pull off a hat and can't. So that's just kind of tragic, but whatever. Like
and like trying to grow a beard and can't.
yeah, like I mean I haven't shaved for
Yeah.
a while and I got this hat. Like now all of a sudden I'm the worst douche in the world.
You were totally saying, "Go grab my fedora,"
Nope.
weren't you?
Grabbed that on her own initiative when she heard me mention fedora.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Now all of a sudden I'm Jason. So imagine I was Jason. I don't know. Like I'm trying to like the kind of intruding on conversations and stuff. Like I don't know how to really deal with that because I mean everyone's paying to be there, right? Like in the class. So he has the right to do that, and that's kind of like there's no way to officially kind of go and.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm pretty sure Foxy is actually still in like regular school, like high school.
Oh, okay, digital media.
So
that's-
he's not. Yeah, I had a digital media's class in school.
Okay, lucky guys. Private Christian schools did not cater to such things.
Well, because being able to communicate with the outside world was work of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, that's a rough position to be in because like I mean people change and whatever. Like there was a bunch of people I don't like from like back in my
No, they don't.
grade school days. Well, whatever. No, okay, fine. Maybe they will never change, but at the very least they will go away. Like you won't really need to encounter them
Yes.
ever again
100%.
past a certain point.
Yep.
So and like faster than you think. Like it's kind of like, oh man, my high school posse, I'm gonna be seeing these people forever. I have not seen many of them in like a decade. Like it's just like they're just gone. And that's just it. And I didn't even graduate a decade ago, so that's extra weird. Like partway through grade 10, they just stopped showing up. I made a math error. But yeah, I don't know what to really suggest. Just he'll eventually go away.
You can speak up if somebody's annoying you. Just be like, listen, just kind of fuck off, sort of thing, or like go away.
I guess
Like, you
that
can do
makes it
that.
a little more contentious. Like maybe just like I guess it's also
Oh no,
nature.
like don't get me wrong. Like if you're going that route, be ready to like fight back and like hit them
No,
if you have to.
I don't recommend it.
No, what you should do is probably go up to Jason and just punch him in his stupid face. and then take his fedora and piss in it.
I don't.
That's probably what you should do.
That's what like
However,
Duke
that's not the
Nukem would
advice I'm
do.
going to
This is
give.
terrible advice.
This isn't the advice I'm giving. That's just what you probably should do. The advice I'm giving is that you just kind of have to learn that you're going to always have to work with people in situations that you hate or don't like, and you just kind of learn to lose your soul about it,
Well-
and you just kind of accept it.
Well, it can also be a thing where it's like you eventually like just understand who like what that person's about a little more, and you don't hate them. You just kind of know that to expect that from them. You know,
Or like Freaky Friday might have had it right, where like you both
switch.
don't understand each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then like you see pieces, and then maybe you realize that like he gets raped by his uncle every time he goes home.
So like try to
Like,
go to the
that's
same
he has a fedora.
Chinese restaurant at the same time and open the fortune cookies, and then
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
if it works properly, if you've done it right, like it's kind of hard to sync up your meal times so that you're both cracking the cookie at the same time. But if you could pull it off, you will switch minds, and then you will learn more about them, and then you'll understand. You'll literally be able to take a walk in their shoes, and yeah, it'll.
And another thing to remember is that this will make you maybe feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Remember that everybody dies at some point.
Yeah, and there's
So one
7
day
billion of them. Like,
will
who's gonna...
be dead, and people that loved him will cry.
I guess I still want to like add a little thing where it's just like depends. Like I don't know the nature of like what is happening. Like, are these conversations before class that he just kind of butts in on, or is this like the very talkative kid in class who kind of is constantly sharing stories and kind of doesn't know a lot, but they're
It doesn't matter
Negative.
either way. They probably shouldn't be alive.
well. That the thing is like I felt like I at some point like in university anyway started being a more talkative person in class, but I would
University is the right place for it, though, because
yeah.
you've already developed enough to a point where what you're saying might have some basis, and you have some like social context for what you're talking about.
Right, and I would always
when
try
you're
to
in
be
high
very
school, you
like
just kind of-
questioning and try to like ask, things. But like, I might have stepped on some toes here and there with like a few opinions that were half expressed. Like Uncle Boon Me is a terrible movie. Like that might rub somebody the wrong way who had a great
Well, I
sound
mean, only
design.
idiots, right?
Well, like yeah, like the Cannes Film Festival jury, like yeah, idiots. But they're gonna I don't know. I guess I'm like trying to compare this to similar things in my situation, and I don't have a lot. So yeah, just I don't know.
You've never gone to school or worked with somebody that you could
No,
honestly use the word hate for.
yes, but it kind of was altered at some point. Like for a while, I did hate a certain coworker, but then through management intervention and like kind of understanding other people also had issues. I guess maybe that's the thing. Like if you can determine whether or not other classmates also feel this way, maybe it can become sort of an intervention style thing that you trigger, where it's just like
Right.
everyone actually thinks you're kind of annoying.
And then in that case,
Well,
you have backup for when you beat the shit out of him.
or crush their confidence and ruin them forever. Like either way,
crush his face.
well, that those heal. Like if you just kind of completely just dismantle their core kind of
You
confidence
can't
stone,
dismantle a douchebag, though.
I guess so. So
That's the problem, right?
I don't know. And the fedora thing is probably just a phase. Don't hold it against him. It'll go away. Maybe you just saw like Indiana Jones. He thought it was really good. Anyway,
Well, and especially like high school, like you'll have another class. You'll have classes without him, so I won't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just keep on trucking, I guess.
keep on trucking. Next voicemail.
Next voicemail is from a dude named Metal Richard. I don't know if he just loves metal or if he is made of metal, but we're gonna find out.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's Metal Richard here. Metal Richard 62 here, and I was just wondering if you guys heard about these awesome new duos. This awesome new game duo called I think what is Game Bros? Game Dudes? I don't know.
Oh.
It's
okay.
there's two guys on it, Nathan,
Also, I can't read.
Nathan?
Part of the bit.
Yeah, I can get it. And Powell. and they're playing some really cool games. Like I think it's a Silent Hill type game.
Oh no, he got it.
It's amazing, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm that it's really good, and that Nathan, whatever the fuck his name is, really fucked up because
Oh.
at the end of I think episode 4, he's been complaining like a pussy that he lost his gun, his bullets, and he picked up bullets, and then he gets murdered by a flying creature, and God, what a fucking idiot. Well, bye guys. Hope you.
I love that it ends with "hope you."
Oh,
That's so good.
I thought you just turned it off or something.
I didn't turn it off. That's where it ends.
Thanks, I guess. Like, is he a Silent Hill master from somewhere? Or
No, he's obviously either one of the other callers or another person with doing a weird voice.
oh, okay.
So thank you.
Okay. I have never played it before. I'm doing my best, but thanks for watching the videos at the very least. And I'll try to do better. Yeah.
The last and next episode are brutal.
We'll solve for us making
Piano.
mistakes.
It's the piano one.
Oh my god, yeah, people don't judge us too harshly. We didn't know what to do. But whatever. Yes, Silent Hill. Going in blind. Never played it, and Paul hadn't played it in a while, so but yes, game dudes. We should game dudes. Come up with a cool logo or something. Or man, if only I took a
That's in the works.
photo of game dudes back when it was around.
But I don't know. Cameras were harder to come by back then, and then we would have to have a scanner because we wouldn't have.
Yeah, and why would I waste it? Like, I'm gonna take a picture of my favorite store. Like, who did that?
And they didn't even have a logo. I don't know if you remember, but they totally just like used Mario's likeness, and by Mario's likeness I mean a picture of Mario, and then it just said Game Dudes on it right beside it.
Wow, you can't really do that.
No, you can't do that, but that's what their logo was. It was Mario. So, little shit store in Airdrie that we both loved.
Yeah, they had the games, man. Wario's Woods.
Are you ready for the Meowth Hour? The next 2 calls are hers.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
I don't know what game to get. It's tearing me apart. Well, 3D World's out of the question because I don't have a Wii U. Unlike you, Nathan, who went there day one just to get a Wii U anyways. And then even so, you had to wait a year just to get a game to play, so why would you do that?
Wow.
No, wait, my actual question is, which game should I get? The Mario Party or the Link Between Worlds? I don't know what to get. They're both really expensive and I can't afford both. Help!
I'd get Link
Okay.
Between Worlds because apparently it somehow acknowledges Majora's Mask as canon, so that makes it good. Also, it might be good.
I would get it. I would get the same game, and because I don't have a constant supply of 3 other people to play with.
Oh.
Whereas I think you do that for Mario Party.
Yeah, Mario Party, I don't know. Like, yeah, unless you have people to, like, play with.
Like, if you're in a dorm room or something, and, like, you're the one with the Wii U, and there's 3 other people, there's, like, a shared area, and there's 3 other people kind of living there in different rooms,
Yeah.
then maybe Mario Party.
Maybe.
But that's probably the only time I could see that over Link Between Worlds or whatever.
Like, yeah, they're pretty, like, it's like, do you want to go on, like, a big single-player adventure, or do you want a, like, interactive board game, essentially? It's kind of a different thing. I mean, I get they do both come out on literally the same day, so it could be kind of a split thing if you're interested in both. But yeah, as someone who's played Mario Party by yourself, that's no kind of fun. So don't do that. Yeah, probably Zelda. I'd go with Zelda. I'm personally more keenly interested in Zelda, but that'll probably honestly take a backseat to 3D World at least for a while. But yeah, I mean, I know I made a weird decision buying the Wii U when I did, but I got to play that game in Wario, so I win. I don't know.
And you got two.
We have two. Yeah,
You got called out again. Every call.
yeah.
All right. So next.
The only reason why I sound kind of panicked is probably because I am nervous because I have a presentation to do. And by the time you will read this on the podcast, it has already been done. But, anyways, the question is kind of more real lifey, I guess. Then again, you guys are kind of not in school, so what is more scarier to you at school? Would it be doing a presentation or taking a test? For me, it's probably taking a test because, I don't know, I just freeze up when I get the test questions. And then I'm like, uh, what is the answer? I can't remember.
Okay. If we were to go back to school right now,
hmm
it would definitely be test.
Yeah, I've had more bad experiences with tests than with presentations. I've actually had, like, in a way, my awkward demeanor during presentations has gotten at least a lot of laughs. And once I realized that wasn't because I was doing something stupid, it was actually just being entertaining, that worked out a little
Sure.
bit. Like, I gave a book report on oh, what was it? It was Hunchback of Notre Dame, where I was just really frustrated with the way the book ended, and everyone kind of just enjoyed how upset I was with plot details of this classic book or whatever.
It's basically what you're doing now on the internet.
Kind of. It was like a bit of a turning point for me, like enjoying that kind of stuff a little bit. I still shake though, like a lot sometimes during those. Like even in university, like there were times where I'd like have a piece of paper that has a bunch of my cues and like little talking points, and I'd start rattling around because I get a little overwhelmed with like that many eyes in the room. It's just something. So I totally get public speaking is a weird, freaky thing, but unless you're having to contend with like a group presentation where it is not equally distributed work or a lot of weird pressures being put on you, like yeah, there was a presentation I did that we did really well. We got like an A, but the entire process was so crazy because like the people I was working with were taking it so seriously that I just felt like I needed to like up my game somehow, but I just was not enjoying English theory. So I was just that was not a great position. I just felt awkward and ill at ease the entire time I was doing the whole thing. But even so, I guess I would still say tests are more annoying to me because it's just like it is like that binary most of the time where it's just like, oh crap, I don't remember that because I didn't find that interesting. And this isn't really
Yeah.
asking me to apply knowledge I picked up or like actually in any way respond. It is just saying, do you remember this thing I said? Yes, no. And that's kind of shitty. Like, it's just like, well, if I don't, it's because you presented it bad. Probably because I was there. So if
Yeah.
you did such a bad job at like relaying this material to me in an interesting way that stuck in any way, why is that my fault? Like like a test that essentially asked for you to make up for the instructor's shortcomings by like studying a lot or reading a lot always felt
It was
kind of
bullshit.
unfair. Like it's just like why is this a class then? Like, you know, at some point I should just be reading this book a lot and I'm for some reason paying you to read this book and then
Yeah.
report my findings. And I wouldn't have read this book anyway if it wasn't for like this stupid thing I need or whatever. So yeah, tests suck. I don't. I yeah.
Back then, for me, it was definitely presentations. I couldn't do them as a kid. I hated them. I hated even. I was that guy that, like, the kid that knew the answers to all the questions the teacher would ask, but never put their hand up because then they would have to speak.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there was definitely times where it's like just sitting there quietly, like with the silence in the room, and you know, but you don't want to be the guy, so you just kind of sit there, and it's just kind of like, okay, now he's disappointed in the whole class, and it's just like, well, okay, I'm also glad I didn't say anything because then I'd be singled out as like a goody two shoes or something. That's still a thing kids say, right? Goody two shoes, hip.
Even back
Jargon.
then, it wasn't. I don't think
I know.
like teacher's pet. I think was the
Pet.
term. But I don't know. Like at this point, if I had to go
Anyway.
back to school and do it, I would be fine with presentations, and tests would be harder, I think, because I don't remember a whole lot of stuff anymore from back then, for one thing, but more specifically, I just kind of don't give a fuck what any other kids say about shit. So, whatever. Presentations would be fine.
Mhm.
But, alas, that is all we have for this week. So, let's find out how other people can do the same.
Got a question or comment for the show? You can email us at podcast@pixelresponse.com or leave a voicemail using the voicemail feature on the right side of the main page. On Twitter, you can reach Nathan at Krasnor and Paul at Exposure. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/thepixelresponse and visit pixelresponse.com for more.
That's the way you got to do it.
Mhm.
Also, twitch.tv/exposure, EXFAUXSURE. That's where we're doing this.
Mhm.
That's where we always do it. It might not always be a Monday, and it might not always be around 7-ish, but it will always maybe happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's been pretty consistent.
There's always a possibility. We both know that it should happen at some point in the week. So whether it's a Sunday, a Monday, a Tuesday, or something,
Mhm.
it'll happen eventually, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like how Star Trek reruns would get bumped a little bit sometimes by infomercials on A channel. It's kind of like that.
Although we're the infomercial.
Yeah.
We're bumping like the quality content, I think.
What? No, we're
Maybe?
getting bumped by Life is the infomercial.
Like real life.
Yeah, like jobs and shit. That's the infomercial. It's like, buy this rotisserie, and you're just like, well, I really wanted to see sci-fi adventures, but I guess I'll have to wait.
I could live with that. Also, this will be going up on YouTube. I'll throw this on YouTube.
Okay.
Why not?
Why
right?
not?
I mean, the kids use it for music these days, so I'm sure they could probably just leave in the background playing for a podcast as well.
Okay.
I don't know. That's all for this week, though. So, we don't really have a sign off. I was going to try to do something there, but...
Thanks for hanging out, Pixel Responders. We'll see you guys
So, as
next
always...
time on the Pixel Response. Sorry for cutting you off.